What's happening with it? What's good with it, y'all? Y'all already know what it is. You tuned in to another episode of Everything Boxing. There you go, talking that boxing again. And yeah, we gonna cook today. Let's get it. When you come in the building, let me know you off in the building and jump in the comment section and hit that like button before you do anything. Make sure that y'all hit that like button. Contender Regine Boxing, what's happening with it? Salute. Jose Ayala, what's good with it? Salute. Stan 92, Votes UK, DP Rocker, Almighty. Jay Chestnut, AJ 64, Mike Ron, Bumpy Thompson, the champ Mike Oliver in the building. NBA D Nice, what's happening with it? My man, Flawless Mentality and BE, hosted by Dr. Mark Stearns. What's happening with it, OG? R. West, what's good with it? St. Louis in the building, what's happening with it? Yeah, we're going to get it today. Like I said, when y'all come in the building, hit the like button and let me know you're in the building. You feel me? Let me know you're in the building. So there's been a lot of talks about, Canelo Alvarez and his career and mostly what he just did at 168. So we're going to break down the resume of the fighters. We're going to break down his whole resume at 168, what they did, and what he did at 168. You know what I'm saying? We got to know. I want to know who you fought and who they fought. So let's break it down, y'all. And let's see, was Canelo Alvarez's run at 168, was it great or was it all smoke and mirrors? So we're going to find out today. You know what I'm saying? Non-biased. We're going to go down it and we're going to see what it is. We're going to see what it is. But like I said, before we get into that, make sure that y'all smash on the like button. You know what I'm saying? It don't cost you nothing to hit the like button. And let's get into it. Let's talk about it, y'all. Man, a lot going on. Bumpy Thompson, what's happening with it? I mean, because, hey, we didn't have no problem talking about Terrence Bud Crawford's resume at 140 and what he did. So why should we have a problem doing the same thing with Canelo Alvarez? You feel me? But yeah. So y'all, Dank Father, Anthony Johnson, what's happening with it? Jay Chestnut, what's happening with it? Marvin Banks, what's happening with it? Bruce Gold, salute, OG. Sweet Tea, salute to you, queen. Marvin Banks, what's happening with it? DP, what's happening with it? Yeah, so let's get into it. I seen today, you know what I'm saying? Let's, you know what I want to talk about, man? I want to talk about Devin Haney for a minute, you know what I'm saying? I just spoke on this several times, and I want to talk about it, right? I want to talk about this shit, and I'm serious when I say this shit. We see the whole thing with George Kambosos going on. George Kambosos, right? We see that he don't want to fight Devin Haney. We see that George Kambosos is not going to fight Devin Haney. I don't give a damn about all the news they coming out with, talking about, oh, Devin Haney is the front runner. He ain't the front runner for that fight. They don't want to fight Devin Haney. The WBC don't want Devin Haney to be undisputed. George Kambosos don't want to fight Devin Haney. He acting like a pure bitch. We all know that. You know what I'm talking about? We all know that. The WBC, they haven't treated Devin Haney right at all. Not at all. They treat him like a motherfucking field slave. That's what they treating him like. But Devin Haney, he's still walking around with that strap. And I said a long time ago, I said in order for shit to change, he got to put that fucking belt down and tell them, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? I see how y'all treat me. That's all right. I'm going to fuck this belt. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make shit happen without it. And take a stance, because other than that, they going to keep treating other fighters just like they doing Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? He not going to be able to get no smoke at 135. He ain't. We see it. You know what I'm saying? They basically icing him out. They boxing him out at 135. So why are you still carrying around that belt? Man, fuck that WBC belt. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna get he's not gonna get that George Kambosos fight. You heard Sampson coming. Sampson just did an interview. Sampson is David Benavidez's promoter, right? You feel me? That Sampson is David Benavidez's promoter. He said Devin Haney will never get a George Kambosos fight. And I've been said that. The man don't want to fight him. And the WBC don't want him to be undisputed. If the WBC wanted that shit to pop off like that, the WBC would have already mandated a fight between Devin Haney and goddamn Teofimo Lopez a long time ago. We see what the play is. Why they still running around with their goddamn WBC belt chasing Kambosos when they know they ain't gonna get that fight. They know they ain't gonna get that fight. I don't understand why you keep chasing pussy when the pussy say that she don't want you. She don't want you. She told you no. And they ain't gonna make her, they're not gonna make her, her parents ain't gonna make her be with you. She told you no, move the fuck on. Make some other shit happen, because they ain't gonna treat you right, the WBC, and then George Kambosos don't want to fight you. We can do all the begging and hollering and all of that shit on fucking YouTube, on whatever channel you got. We can do that shit all day, but it ain't gonna change nothing. It's not gonna make shit move the needle until he really step up, right? And he got to take that stance and say, fuck the WBC. Come out, talk about how they doing him wrong, Throw that fucking belt in the trash, and then we got to stick behind him, right? Then we all got to stick behind him. But other than that, ain't shit gonna change. There ain't shit gonna change other than that. You feel me? Drew Titan, what's happening with it? I see you in the building. You feel me? Other than that, ain't shit gonna change. When do you say enough is enough? When do you say enough is enough? Like I said, they should have been mandated. They should have been mandated Devin Haney to fight Teofimo Lopez, and they were skipping around that. Now it's George Kambosos, and you know they playing y'all. They don't want that fight. They ain't never wanted that fight. I'm just saying, man. Like, that's why I ain't been talking about that shit, because Mr. Steal Your Chin, I feel you. That's one reason I ain't been talking about the Devin Haney and Kambosos situation, because I was sick of talking about that shit. If you want to keep it 100, I was sick of talking about that shit. And I'm like, man, what else can I say? The man ain't gonna fight him. He ain't gonna fight him, and they can't do nothing to make Kambosos fight him, because Mauricio Suleiman, he not gonna step up and do shit, because he is the biggest part of the problem. If they really wanted that fight, they would mandate that shit, right? He is the biggest problem. He's the reason why George Kambosos can act like he acted and do like he doing. Because WBC, they not only allow it, right? They not only allow it, they fucking advocate for this shit. And you in here watching a black boxing channel and the black boxing fans, you fucking retard. And don't even block him. Let him stand here and watch it. Don't even block his ignorant ass. He talking about black boxing and black boxing fans, but you on the black boxing channel. Last time I checked, I look black as a motherfucker to me. But you in here watching it, right? Motherfucking dummy. Anyway, but yeah, man, don't block him. Let his stupid ass stay in here. You know what I'm saying? Let his ignorant ass stay in here. But like I said, man, yeah, man, I'm not, like, I'm sick of all of this, like, real talk. I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? If Devin Haney and them, they gotta, we could make all the videos in the world. We could talk about how he deserves the Kambosos fight over and over and over. We know that. Now we all know that. What else is gonna be done? Is he gonna take a stand? Right? Is he gonna try to get some of these other fighters that hold the WBC at high regards to get with him and take a stance? Ain't shit gonna change without them taking a stance. So, you know, ain't shit gonna change. All we doing is beating the dead fucking horse. That's all we doing is talking about the same shit, begging and crying and beating the dead horse. Straight up. It's like when they gunned down, the police gunned down an innocent black man that didn't have no weapon on him or nothing, right? And then what the fuck do? We go march about it and fucking scream and holler about it and march and put up signs. Stop the killing. They don't give a goddamn about that shit. What is that shit doing? Until we do something more, right? Ain't shit gonna change. And y'all see that. And it's the same shit. We complaining about Mauricio Suleiman and the WBC ain't doing Devin Haney right, and Devin Haney deserved a Kambosos fight. All right. Well, we see he ain't gonna get it. We see they ain't gonna treat him right. Now, what's the next step? What is the next step? Are we gonna keep on holding up the WBC title and talking about how prestigious the green belt that he got is? I'm just saying. But you know, don't everybody want to talk about that part. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers scared to talk about this part of the situation. Nah, he can't sue. 817, it ain't nothing to sue. He can't sue the WBC for not, you know what I'm saying? He ain't that. But he can throw that fucking bitch in the trash and take a stance and try to get some other fighters to take a stance, because the fighters are fuck. Don't nobody give a fuck about that goddamn WBC without the fighter. You know what I'm saying? Get some of the fighters to take a stance, throw that shit in the trash, get some of the fighters to fucking stand behind you, right? And y'all come together and make a change. You feel me? Y'all come together and make a change. Because other than that, they going to keep moving how they want to move. They keep moving how they want to move. You feel me? But you know, right? The WBC, they can do whatever the fuck they want to, and they're gonna continue to do whatever the fuck they want to. They're gonna continue to do it. What are y'all gonna do to change it though? And y'all hit my like button. If y'all ain't hit the like button, smash on the like button. If you can't do nothing else, hit the like button. Mr. Steal Your Chin says Tank is the best. Tell Kambosos to come fight. He says I'll beat your ass, but I don't want them belts. Them belts make the politics worse. Yeah, Tank was just, and I respect that shit that Tank had said. Tank was like, man, fuck them belts. You know what I'm saying? I'll beat your ass without them belts. Fuck that belt. And a lot of the shit that how Tank be moving, I don't like. But that right there, I respect it. Fuck your belt. I'll beat your ass without them belts. I don't need them fucking belts. You walking around paying for a fucking belt and they disrespecting your ass. And I understand, as long as you have the belt, your pay scale is, you know what I'm saying, you get paid more as long as you have the belt. Well, if you take the money and you continue to let them fuck you, well, you can't complain about it, right? So when do you say, man, fuck this? I know I'm getting paid more, but man, fuck this. I got to take a stance. This shit bigger than money. Down the line, you know what I'm saying? Down the line, I'll get the money. I'll get triple, quadruple that down the line. But right now, it's time for me to let these people know, you know, that I'm being done wrong. Let me get these other fighters together that's been, you know, getting done wrong. Let's get together and let's make a stance. You feel me? But hey, you know, we can continue to sit on the motherfucking internet and, you know, talk about how Devin Haney getting done wrong and begging Kambosos to fight him and doing all of that shit. And ain't shit gonna change. That shit ain't gonna make that man get in the ring when he don't want to get in the ring and fight. And that shit ain't gonna fucking make Mauricio Suleiman change the way that he do his dirty ass business like he been doing it, you know what I'm saying, since he been doing it. Knockout said, same thing I told Gary Russell. If Devin can't get the fights, it's time to move up. Yeah, man. You see, it ain't nothing shaking that 135, man. It ain't nothing shaking. Ain't nothing shaking that 135, man. And it's a fucked up situation because it make me mad just like it make a lot of other people pissed off. You feel me? It's a fucked up situation, but what are they gonna do, right? What are they gonna do to change the situation? It's just like, oh man, fuck Gucci, they racist. Them motherfuckers is racist, you know, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still walking around, right? I'm still walking around buying all that shit. Why am I complaining? You know what I'm saying? Why am I complaining? Man, I ain't eating that Roof Chris. That shit, man, Roof Chris, it costs too fucking much, man. Why they charging so much, man? They doing us wrong. They know this shit ain't worth this. They know a steak ain't worth that much. But every time I get fucking paid, I'm going to Roof Chris. But I'm still complaining about the price. The fuck you complaining if you keep on going? Zenith 360 says it's like increasing your salary 3%, then taking you, he says, then taxing you 5%. And what he's saying is basically, yeah, they getting a bigger pay grade, right? Holding the belts, but then they gotta pay to hold the belts. Lee Dre Stevens says, what's more important, resume or fan base? Well, that's a complicated question, dog, because your fan base grows with your resume, right? So if they go hand in hand. If the fans see that you fighting the best, right? Well, you automatically gonna grow a bigger fan base. With your resume over time, I think they go hand in hand. It's just, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, they go hand in hand. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Resume is your legacy, what people gonna be able to look at 50 years from now and remember you by. Fan base is putting asses in the seats and, you know, how much money you gonna make. Hustles Holmes, appreciate you, man, for becoming a channel member, man. I appreciate you. Much respect. Uh, 817 say, it ain't no way I'm cutting the WBC a check and they ain't working with me and embarrassing the shit out of me every chance they get. Right, bro. But you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, 817. That's what I'm saying. And you still holding it and carrying it around with high regards. I don't understand that shit. It's just like I said before. My boss calling me a nigga every time, you know what I'm saying? Every time I hear him talking, he talking about nigga this and nigga that. But I'm pretending like I didn't hear it because I'm getting paid a lot. I'm pretending like I ain't hear shit because I'm getting paid a lot. But every time I go home, I'm complaining about my boss throwing around the N-word. But he said it right in front of me, but I'm pretending like I don't hear it because I'm getting paid a lot. What the fuck is the difference? Why am I going home complaining about it? How do I expect anything to change if I ain't said nothing about it, if I ain't stood up and studded up and did something to make them change, to make the boss change? Knockout Boxing says, kind of off topic, but we should be pushing for Stephen Fulton versus Akhmaduliev for Undisputed at 122. I feel like it ain't talked about enough. And then John Kramer say right on the spot. John Kramer say my boss gonna get his nose broke. Man, right. But so, you know, man. Lee Dre Stevens says it's saying like fighters have a big fan base without the resume nowadays. Yeah, but I mean, how long is that gonna last? You feel what I'm saying? That shit gonna run out. If you ain't fighting nobody, that shit eventually gonna run out, bro. But yeah, so y'all hit the like button. Y'all hit the like button. See, when you get to talk about real shit, you know what I'm saying? When you get to talk about real shit, motherfuckers don't want to hear this shit. They don't want to hear this shit. John Kramer said, that's why I'm glad I'm my own boss. You feel me? Man, real talk. But motherfuckers, people don't want to hear this shit when you get to talking about the real. They just want to cry and oh man, he getting done wrong, and man, he need to. That shit ain't happening. We see it. I've been said that he not gonna get that fight. You know what I'm saying? He not gonna fight him. This ain't the first time this has happened. Nobody was crying and doing all of this shit when it was Gary Russell that wasn't getting the fights. Saying, but Gary Russell, he did the same thing. He kept that fucking WBC title, right? Until he let them fuck him. He kept the WBC title. He should have made a stance, right? He should have went and made a stance, threw that fucking belt in the trash, and tried to get some of the other fighters behind him and let them know what was going on. But hey, you know, he did the same shit, and he did it all the way up until they fucked him. So, and I'm talking about it because I fuck with Devin Haney the long way. I fuck with Gary Russell the long way. And anybody else, you know. But like I said, I mean, I think it needs to be talked about in a different light because ain't shit moving the needle. Ain't nothing changing. But anyway, like I said, y'all smash on the like button. Y'all smash the like button and let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and move on. I'm gonna get into Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. They faced off. You know what I'm saying? Today they faced off in Shakur. When they was facing off, Oscar Valdez looked very nervous. He looked very nervous, like, damn, it's almost time. I'm finna get my motherfucking ass beat. It's almost that time. He was looking real nervous. Shakur had a smile on his face because it's just like when you seen Errol Spence when he was face off with Kell Brook. He couldn't stop smiling. He was even trying not to smile, but he just couldn't help himself because he knew the damage that he was about to put on Kell Brook. And Shakur Stevenson, the same way. Today, I saw a confident fighter that knew what was finna go down. That when you look at that face-off, you see a confident fighter that knows what he about to do, right? Then you see Oscar Valdez, and Oscar Valdez had his shades on. He didn't want to take his shades off. And you could see that he was nervous. You could see that he knows that his time is coming to an end very soon. He didn't want that fight. I don't give a damn what Oscar Valdez try to tell y'all when he does interviews. Oscar Valdez did not want that fight. He didn't want no parts of that fight. the man, he did everything that he could to try not to take the fight, but he was pressed by the fans to take the fight. Everybody was calling him a duck, right? I mean, come on now. Come on now. Wayne Jr. says, stop praising Canelo. What in the entire fuck is you talking about? What are you talking about, Wayne Jr.? Who is in here praising Canelo? See, you just come in here typing retarded ass shit and you don't know what the fuck you talking about. So, just like you came in here, back the fuck up out of here, right? And then come back correct. Anyway, like I was saying, before I got rudely interrupted by an ignorant ass comment, yeah, man, Oscar Valdez, he don't want none of that smoke. He know he don't want none of that smoke. He's trying to pretend in the media like, oh, yeah, this is the fight that we was pushing for. We wanted this fight. We turned down the Navarrete fight because we wanted this fight. Man, quit the fucking lies, Oscar Valdez. Stop with the goddamn lies. You did not want the fight. Your own promoter said that you was pushing for the Navarrete fight. When they presented the Shakur Stevenson fight to you, your own promoter, Bob Arum, said, hey, I mean, we went to Oscar Valdez and he doesn't want the fight. We can't make him take the fight. He don't want the fight. The man said you didn't want the fight, bruh. So why are you on here trying to pretend every time you do an interview like it was you that was pushing for the fight? That's what I don't like. I don't like a man that's gonna fucking lie on every interview. You full of shit, bruh. You didn't want the fight. You never wanted to fight. You didn't want to fight at 126, and you didn't want it at 130. What happened is the ESPN and Top Rank, they started pushing for the fight because they seen all of the black backlash that they was getting, right? Because it started looking like, hey, what Terrence Crawford was claiming, bias, right? The racial biasness that Terrence Crawford was claiming, that shit was starting to look real ugly when we look at Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez for the second time. They both champions in the same weight division under the same promotional banner. Y'all ain't making the fight. That's what happened. They start pushing for the fight. Oscar Valdez didn't want that fight. And they said, hey, you know what? We're going to have to go, you know what I'm saying? We're going to give you more money and we're going to have to go the Oscar Valdez fight. You feel me? And then he got to look at the situation, right? They have to tell him, like, Navarrete ain't got no belt, dog. Navarrete, we want to make this undisputed. So we're going to pay you a lot more to make the undisputed. The network, this is the fight that the network wants, Oscar, right? We keep on trying to tell you, right? The network want this fight. So they push for that fight. Oscar Valdez didn't want that fight. You can look at the man, look at the face-off that they did today. When you look at the face-off, you can tell the man don't want no smoke. He ain't want to take his motherfucking shades off. He ain't want to look that man in his eye. And the whole time, he froze. The man is froze. Like, Shakur, he comfortable. He, you know what I'm saying? He got his swag. He's smiling. He all up in Valdez's face. Valdez, he won't even say a word. He just fucking tense. He tense. You can tell he don't want that smoke. And Shakur say, hey, look, they think that they finna have to like chase me around the ring. He said, nah, I'm finna be right there. I'm finna be right there in the pocket with him. Shakur said, I'm gonna beat the dog shit out of Oscar Valdez. It ain't gonna be no, oh, you gotta run and chase me around. No, I'm gonna be right there. You dig? You ain't gonna have to come looking for me. I'm gonna box you. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I'm going to stand in front of you. We going to box in the pocket. We finna do all of that. I'm finna be right there in front of your face. However you want to get it popping is how we going to do it. You feel what I'm saying? However you want to get it popping is whatever we going to do. You feel me? The dude don't want that smoke. I'm telling y'all. And come April 30th, Oscar Valdez is finna get the goddamn tea beat out his ass. All the tea he drinking, whatever he got in his system, motherfucking Shakur is gonna beat the dog shit out that boy. And after that, like Shakur said, put him on the pound for pound list. Put him on the pound for pound list because he coming. In 2022, Shakur Stevenson, he letting everybody know he coming. You feel me? So let's get it popping. He don't want that smoke. But let's go ahead and transition, right? Since we talking about Oscar Valdez, we ain't gonna waste no more time, y'all. Hit my like button, get the likes up. Because I don't even want to look at the likes because I know a lot of y'all bullshitting on the likes. I know it's a lot of people that ain't hit that like button. I know it. I don't even want to look at it because if I look at it, I'm going to have to turn into blue blood on y'all. I'm going to have to turn into my brother blue blood on y'all because when I look at the likes, I know it ain't right. So hit the like button. We got to do this shit every day. We got to continuously to tell y'all to hit the like button. The first thing that pop up when you pull the video up, the like button. Hit the like button. But let's talk about Canelo Alvarez, right? That's what y'all came here for. That's what y'all want. You know what I'm talking about? Let's talk about it. And salute to my man Anthony Johnson off in that Cash App. I appreciate you always coming through every day showing love. But let's talk about it, y'all. Man, if these motherfucking Democratic people don't stop texting my goddamn phone with this bullshit, fuck y'all. And I didn't vote for no goddamn Biden. Shit. Anyway, so let's talk about Canelo Alvarez, right? Because like I said, we talked about Terrence Crawford in his road to Undisputed. We talked about Terrence Crawford in his road to Undisputed at 140, right? We was able to break down. I came on here a couple years ago and I broke down who they fought in his whole run at 140 pounds. Now, let's do the same thing with Canelo Alvarez. Right? Let's do the same thing with Canelo Alvarez. Let's find out if Canelo Alvarez's run at 168 pounds, super middleweight, was it great? Did he achieve greatness by becoming undisputed at 168? Did he fight great fighters? Or was it all smoke and mirrors? Was it all smoke and mirrors? Or did he truly achieve something great? Right? Now, before we get into this, right, you got to understand, we saying that Canelo Alvarez is a great fighter. We saying that he's one of the best fighters ever to step in the ring, that he's an A++ fighter, right? That's the standard that we are holding him to, right? That is, I just want to remind y'all, we're saying that Canelo Alvarez is an A++ fighter. So we holding him to that standard, just like we did Floyd Mayweather and just like we did Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., just like we did all of the greats. What? So we holding him to that standard. So I just want to remind y'all, before we go into his 168 run and we start breaking it down. Now, let me pull up. I'm going to share the screen. First of all, hold on. Let me get him on the screen. and then I'm going to share the screen to y'all, and we're going to go down the run, and we're going to go down who he fought and who they fought. We're going to do this right now, so y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all smash on the like button. If you can't do nothing else, hit the like button for me. And like I said, this is from a non-biased perspective. I don't have no fucking agenda. Like I said, I did the same thing to Bud Crawford when he became undisputed. So it's only right that we do the same thing, and let's go over every fight that Canelo Alvarez fought at 168 pounds. Now, let me see. Hold on. Let me get this screen share up. And let's talk about it. Okay, hold on. So, now, as y'all can see, it's up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start with Rocky Fielding. Because, first of all, now we know he did move around. This is his first test at 168 pounds, right? This was his first test. He fought Rocky Fielding right here. Here's Rocky Fielding. Let's pull up Rocky Fielding. Because it wasn't for a real title, but it was for one of them, what was it? For like the WBA. Yeah, the WBA World Super Middleweight title. It was a secondary WBA title, right? A regular title. This was for a regular title. So he fights Rocky Fielding. This is 2018 when he first tested the waters at 168. So let's look at Rocky Fielding. And we're going to go, like I said, we're going across. I know this wasn't a part of his Undisputed, but we're going to go over every opponent that he fought at 168 pounds. And we're going to pick out the great opponents from the trash. Or might have not been no trash. Or it might have not have been no great opponents, but we're going to go over and see right now. So Rocky Fielding is 29 wins, 2 losses, and 2 of those losses were stoppages. So let's go to his, let's see who he fought. Rocky Fielding. Let's start from right here. Tommy Tolan, Severin Healy, Ferenc Hafner, Carl Dilp, Wayne Reed, Michael Narada, Darren McKenna, Muhammad Akron. We don't know none of them yet. Luke Blackledge, don't know them. Charles Adamu, we don't know them. No Gonzalez, no. Brian Vera, I know who he is, but you see his record. And no disrespect to Brian Vera, but you know. Then he fought Colin Smith. Bam! First opponent we know. He fought Colin Smith in 2015. Rocky Fielding versus Colin Smith. Big UK showdown, right? Rocky Fielding, the great Rocky Fielding. Well, if you see right here, y'all, you see Colin Smith knocked him out in round number 1. So the great Rocky Fielding that Canelo Alvarez said, you know, hey, he has a WBO, a WB, I think it was a WBA. He has a title, a regular title at 168 pounds. You know what? I'm going to skip 160 for right now. I'm not trying to be undisputed at 160 for right now. I'm going to go all the way up to 168. And I'm going to grab a regular title real quick at 168 from Rocky Fielding. The same Rocky Fielding that already had been knocked out by Colin Smith in round number 1. So the great Rocky Fielding, he lasted, damn. God damn. What is this? Y'all see this right here? Round number 1, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So you mean to tell me this man got knocked out in 15 seconds? So Canelo Alvarez, he moved up to 168 for the first time to face Rocky Fielding, who had lasted a whole 15 seconds with Callum Smith. 15 seconds, y'all. Wow. Let me see. I'm going to stop right there. 15 seconds he lasted. Let me see what y'all talking about. Let me see. Huh? 15 seconds. I just want to think about that for a minute. You decide to go up and face Rocky Fielding that got knocked out in 15 seconds, y'all, by Callum Smith. Damn. So before that, he didn't fight nobody. His first step-up fight was Callum Smith. He lasted a whole 15 seconds. Okay, we're going to move on. We're going to move on. Christopher Rebet, we don't know none of these fighters. Then he fought John Ryder, and he had a split decision in 2017 with John Ryder. Then he fought, right? He fought some other nobodies, 2 other nobodies we never heard, 3 other nobodies we never heard of. Then he fought Canelo Alvarez, and we know that Canelo stopped him in the 3rd round. And yeah, he ain't fought nobody since then, right? Nobody that we would know who they are. So let's go back now. Let's go back. So bam, that was his first. So that was the first opponent at 168. Now we see that Rocky Fielding was some trash. Straight up trash. All right. Now he went back down to 160, then went to 175, and then here he is. The first opponent for his run, right? For the real run. Now we into the real run at 168. This is his real first, right, title run at 168 pounds. And like I said, I'm going to go over all this, and then we're going to cook on this shit. So, Callum Smith was undefeated, a champion. Callum Smith, they fought for the vacant WBC title, right? And they fought for the WBA title. Callum Smith. There he is. So it's 2 titles on the line. So this is how he got his first 2 titles. The WBC was vacant, and the WBA, Callum Smith was the WBA champion. So bam. Callum Smith. Let's see what Callum Smith is about. Now, let's see. Let's see who Callum Smith beat. Let's see who he fought and who he beat. I ain't gonna go all the way down. Let's start. I'm gonna start from 2015 on. Let me see. 2015. Right here. We don't know him. I can't even say that dude's name. I ain't even gonna attempt it. So nobody know him. Nobody know him. Rocky Fielding, we just talked about him. So Callum Smith already had knocked out Rocky Fielding, right? So Muhammad, don't nobody know who the hell that is. Cesar, nobody know who that is. Nobert, nobody know who that is. Luke Blacklist, nobody know who that is. Eric Skoglund, nobody know who the fuck he is. Hogskin, nobody know who he is. George Grove. So Callum Smith beat George Grove. George Grove, we know, everybody know who George Grove is. That's a solid. George Grove is a solid fighter, right? So he beat George Grove in 2018. Let's see what George Grove was doing around that time. Because we know that George Grove was a solid fighter in his prime. Was George Grove, so George Grove, here's his record, 28-4, 3 losses by KO. So let's go to 28. Let's go to George Grove, 2017. Don't know. He beat Chris Eubank in 2018. And then he fought Colin Smith. That was his last fight. So George Grove's last fight was Colin Smith when he got knocked out in the 7th round in 2018. Now, 2018, let me see, George Groves. Now we're going to go back to this. We're going to go. Remember, George Grove fought Colin Smith in 2018, and that was his last fight. He retired after that. Never fought again. He ain't fought since. So, but we're going to go back to George Grove, so just remember that. Then he fought Hassan, whatever his name. I know who he is, but I know this fighter right here, right? This fighter right here is 38, and he lost 6 fights. He is like a C- level fighter. You know what I'm saying? He just got knocked out by Janabek. Now, Janabek is knockout 86 TV. That's his guy. So this guy that Colin Smith fought, right? He got knocked out his last fight by Janabek, and he suffered 6 losses already. Let's go back. So we know he's like a C- level fighter, right? Colin Smith stopped him in the 3rd round. I saw that fight. Impressive. Then Colin Smith fought John Ryder. Now, it says he beat John Ryder. It's an asterisk. Again, it should be an asterisk right here because this is a fight that he should have lost. But they say he won by unanimous decision. But most people that saw this fight will tell you that actually he lost to John Ryder. Then he faced Canelo Alvarez. Then him and Canelo Alvarez fought, and you know what I'm saying? Canelo beat him pretty much damn near every round almost. Feel me? He had very little success versus Canelo Alvarez. Let me get this off the screen. So, now let's go back. Let's talk about George Groves for a minute, right? Now, so let's talk about George Grove, okay? Now, because if you go down Callum Smith's resume, you know, and I always said that Callum Smith was a solid win. But now that I'm looking at Callum Smith's whole resume, right, I see that the biggest name on Callum Smith's resume, the biggest win is George Groves, right, in 2018. That's his biggest win on other than that, he hadn't fought nobody except for John Ryder. And we know, like I said, that John Ryder fight should have an asterisk. If you go look, John Ryder won that fight. He won that fight. But that's the biggest name on on Callum Smith's resume. That's his biggest win. And that's how he really got his, when people was like, man, Callum Smith is a real problem. He might be the best super middleweight in the division because he beat George Groves. But George Groves, when we look at Callum Smith's resume and we see that George Grove was at the end of his road. He beat George Grove when George Grove was already on the verge of retiring. George Grove was way past his prime. He already got beat several times by Carl Froch. Let's pull up George Grove, right? At that point in time. Hold on. George Grove got beat by Badu Jack in 2015. Fought a whole bunch of nobodies. Chris Eubank moved up to 168 out of his weight division and fought him. And then he beat Chris Eubank. And then he got knocked out by Colin Smith and never fought again. So George Grove was at the end of his road. You know what I'm saying? He was already out of boxing pretty much. You know what I'm saying? He had lost to Carl Froch. He got stopped, KO'd by Carl Froch twice. And that was way back in 2013 and 2014. So in 2018, we see George Grove was way past his prime. Good fighter, but way past his prime. So that matters. It matters who you beat, but it also matters when you beat them. Because you beat Muhammad Ali when he fucking goddamn near, you know what I'm saying, got Parkinson's in the early 80s. You ain't getting no credit for that. Larry Holmes don't get no credit for whooping on old Muhammad Ali that was already out the game. I'm just saying. You can feel how you feel about it, but that's the truth. Larry Holmes don't get no credit for beating an old ass Muhammad Ali. So who did Colin Smith actually beat to make him great at 168 pounds? Who did he actually beat? Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it all the way real, right? What did Colin Smith do after he fought Canelo Alvarez? What did he do after he fought Canelo Alvarez? He moved up to 175 because he said that he couldn't make the weight. He said that the man said he almost passed out trying to make weight. He drained himself. He said he was killing himself trying to make 168. Now you see how big he is. He's bigger than David Benavidez. Colin Smith is bigger than David Benavidez. So, like I said, who did Colin Smith actually beat to be a great fighter at 168 pounds? Well, now that we look at it, now that I'm learning, because I went over his whole resume, the answer is nobody. So was Colin Smith a great fighter at 168 pounds? Well, no. You know what I'm saying? No, he wasn't. He wasn't. Really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. He wasn't. The resume speaks for itself. He didn't beat nobody that was on that level. You know what I'm saying? Was it a solid victory? Yeah, it was a good, solid win. But when John Ryder beat him, that should have been a good, solid win. You feel me? When John Ryder beat him, when he got robbed, that should have been a good, solid win for John Ryder. So did Canelo Alvarez do something great when he beat Colin Smith? Well, that answer is no, because in order to do something great, you got to beat a great fighter. You got to beat another great fighter. This is my opinion, right? I thought that Teofimo Lopez did some great shit when he went out and beat Vasyl Lomachenko. That was great to me. When Teofimo Lopez whooped Vasyl Lomachenko, that was great. In order to do something great, you got to beat another great fighter. So let's move on. So he fights Callum Smith, right? Now, we move to Abney Yildirim. Let's pull up Aldry Yildirim. Abney Yildirim, for some reason, got ordered as the WBC mandatory for Canelo Alvarez's belt that he just won. That was a vacant title that he picked up from fighting Callum Smith. Then Abner Yildirim. Now, a lot of people don't understand how Abner Yildirim was even in that position. Well, Abner Yildirim was already in the position because he was in that position from when he was supposed to fight David Benavidez at the point in time. But that shit fell out, right? But why was Abner Yildirim in any type of position to be anybody's mandatory for any type of belt? Well, let's look and see what Abner Yildirim did to become any type of mandatory. So let's look at his motherfucking resume. He fights Jack Dos Santos, nobody. Zoltan Zera, nobody. Nakimahov, nobody. Aaron Pryor Jr., no. Sifler Hypla, I don't know how to say his name. Don't know. Nobody. Mark Antonio Rubio, old as hell, washed up, nobody. He got knocked out in the third round by Chris Eubank. Let's stop right here. So Abner Yildirim, the first notable opponent that he fought was Chris Eubank, and he got knocked out in the third round. Then he fought another nobody, fought Derek Edwards. That was 27 wins and 7 losses and 1 draw. We know what that is. No disrespect to Derek Edwards, but y'all be the judge. Then he go to Ryan Ford, nobody. Jose Antonio Rodriguez, nobody. Lolinga Mock, nobody. Then he loses to Anthony Durrell, right? And then he sits out for 2 years, right? So he loses to Anthony Durrell. He gets knocked out by Chris Eubank Jr. He sits out for 2 years, and he comes back, and he gets to fight Canelo Alvarez for a mandatory. He's Canelo Alvarez's mandatory for the WBC belt. That's weird. Let me think about that for a minute. Dundada, since you got the answer to everything, let me know, Dundada. I need you to come and defend this. And this ain't got nothing to do with Canelo Alvarez. So don't get it. This Abner Yildirim, this what I want him to defend has everything to do with the WBC. How did the WBC manage to put him in a position to be a mandatory for anybody's belt? I want to know, Dundada. How did he get in the position to be mandatory for anybody's belt when you didn't fight for 2 years and your last fight was a loss? I never seen nothing like this. How did this happen? Your last win was 3 years prior. You hadn't won a fight in 3 years. Dundada, give me the answer, Dundada. Dundada, since you got the answer to everybody's motherfucking questions in the chat, I want you to give me my respect and give me your answer, Dundada. How did a man that was coming off a loss and hadn't won a fight in 3 years, how did that man become anybody's mandatory for any belt? I want to know. So since Dundada all of a sudden, right? He don't know how to type no more. He don't have no answers no more. Let me ask one of y'all others in the chat that will go all out to defend, right? You'll defend the WBC and anything that got to do with anybody that's Mexican. So I want y'all to defend this shit and tell me what's going on. How did this happen? I want to know. Ain't nobody got no answers? Nobody had no answers. No answers, huh? So Dundada says he was in position because they thought Yildirim was on the way to be derailed until they called the fight off. Yildirim was Benavidez Mando when he beat Derail. So you're telling me, so your defense for this, Dundada, is that the WBC put him in the position because they thought that he was going to beat Derail before he lost to Derail. So you telling me once again that Yildirim was a mandatory because they thought that he was going to beat Derail before he ended up losing to Derail. That's what you're saying, right? Can anybody make sense of what he just said? Can anybody in here make sense of what Dundada's excuse was? That the WBC felt that Yildirim was going to beat Derail before he lost to Derail. Yeah, okay. That don't make no sense. Womp. Yeah. I think you need to dust yourself off and try again, Dundada. So let's go back. So he fights Abner Yildirim, and he, right here, he stops Abner Yildirim in the third round, right? I believe that's the same round that Chris Eubank Jr. stopped Abner Yildirim. So Abner Yildirim lasted 3 rounds with Chris Eubank Jr., and he lasted 3 rounds with Canelo Alvarez. That man got something against the motherfucking 4th round because he don't want to see the 4th round. So WBC and the WBA titles were defended by Canelo Alvarez, right? So he defends his WBC and WBA titles. Well, what happened to Abner Yildirim his very next fight? Damn. He lost his very next fight to Jack Cullen or however. So you mean to tell me Abner Yildirim, he wasn't good enough to beat Jack Cullen, got knocked out by Canelo Alvarez, got lost to Anthony Derail, and got stopped by Chris Eubanks, but he was good enough to be a mandatory for Canelo Alvarez's WBC title. All right, let's move on. So was Abner Yildirim victory a great victory? No. But that was a title defense at 168. Let's move on. Billy Joe. Billy Joe. Now, Billy Joe. Now, before we get into Billy Joe, who was a solid fighter at, let's get into Billy Joe. Billy Joe got some names on his resume, right? Let me show y'all something. This is how Billy Joe Saunders. Hold on. Let me put the real quick. This is how Billy Joe Saunders look right now. This is Billy Joe. That's how he looks right now. Look like about he damn near. He looked like he wearing probably like maybe 260. This is Billy Joe. This is today. This is today, right now. This is how Billy Joe look. Look like he about 260, maybe 270-ish, right? Now, let's talk about some of Billy Joe's history. We're going to go down Billy Joe's resume. Hold on. Let's go back. Share this with y'all again so y'all can see it. Hold on. So Billy Joe Saunders, like I said, he ain't a shit fighter, solid fighter. So Billy Joe has done some solid things in his career. I can tell you that right off the rip, right? Let's go down Billy Joe's resume. John Ryder got beat by Billy Joe. Now, this is the same John Ryder that Canelo Alvarez is considering fighting after Triple G. So let's keep that in mind. And we talked about that already. So he beat John Ryder back in 2013, Billy Joe, right? Then he beats, we don't know him. Then he beats Chris Eubank by split decision. Him and Chris Eubank, they fought. The scorecards were 113, 116 for Billy Joe, 115, 114 for Chris Eubank, and 115 to 113 for Billy Joe. So he fought Chris Eubank way back in 2014, and it was a real close fight, but he beat Chris Eubank. Okay, so you beat Chris Eubank. That's cool. Chris Eubank is this B-level fighter. B-level fighter. I don't know him. He beats Andy Lee. Andy Lee was a cool, a solid C-plus level fighter, I'll say Andy Lee was a good C-plus level fighter. He never made it to that top level. He was a good C-plus level fighter. B-minus C-plus level fighter. Another cool win. Beat Willie Monroe, C-level fighter. David Lemieux is a cool C-plus level fighter. Charles Adam, he beat him. Nobody. Then, so let's go back to the Willie Monroe. Wait, hold on. Well, somewhere in here, right? Somewhere between 2017 and somewhere in this area right here that we looking at, he was supposed to fight Demetrius Andrade, right? Billy Joe Saunders was looking ripped up. Every fight, Billy Joe was ripped up. Hold on, let me go back. So somewhere along in this area, Billy Joe Saunders was always looking chiseled. Be like, man, Billy Joe looking real good, man. He ain't having weight issues no more. He transformed his whole body. And then what happens, y'all? Oh, shit. Billy Joe pops dirty for PEDs. Leading up to the Demetrius Andrade fight, Billy Joe pops dirty for PEDs. We say, damn, that tells a lot. This is why Billy Joe is all of a sudden, looking ripped up, his body looking good. He beating everybody ass. This is why. The man has been juicing, but he hadn't been getting drug tested like that all the way up until he had to fight Demetrius Andrade. So he was juicing, but he was getting away with it. So, and you say, well, you don't have no proof of that. Why would you say that? Well, hold on. I got y'all right now. I got y'all right here. This is why I say that. Hold on. I got y'all. I got y'all right now. Hold on. Promise I got y'all. Because after Billy Joe got caught on PEDs, this is what he started to look like. He was way overweight. Winning the ring, his next fight, looked like shit. Was overweight, right? After he got caught on PEDs, he went into the ring. His very next fight, it was overweight, right? Let's see who he fought. Let's see some of his opponents that he fought. Hold on. After getting caught on PEDs. Hold on. Let me pull up when he got caught on PEDs. In 2019. So he got caught on PEDs in 2019. So remember, before 2019, he looked very good against David Lemieux, looked real good against Willie Monroe. He was outboxing everybody, right? Come 2019, bam, get caught on PEDs. Then he fights Shafat Usfi. Never heard of him in my life. But Billy Joe, he came in the fight overweight, right? And he looked like shit. He came in the fight overweight and he looked like shit. Didn't look like the same Billy Joe Saunders. Hold on. Let me see if I could pull up a weigh-in for y'all. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to try to see if I can get this weigh-in pulled up. I can't find it because don't nobody know who the hell he is, right? Then he fought Marcelo Esteban, another no name at 168, right? He got 11th round stoppage, but looked like shit in that fight. Then he fought Martin Murray. He went the distance with Martin Murray, and he looked like shit in that fight. I ain't hating on Billy Joe. This is some real shit. He looked like shit in every fight, right? Bourne didn't look like the same fighter no more after he got caught on PEDs. So it's a fact that Billy Joe never looked the same since he got caught on PEDs. He never looked the same. After he got caught on PEDs in 2019, he never looked like he did when he fought David Lemieux. When he fought Andy Lee, he didn't look the same no more. He was a lot slower, having weight issues, coming into the fights, looking sloppy and out of shape. And way before that, we had heard that Billy Joe Saunders, he was having problems being disciplined outside of the ring, right? That Billy Joe Saunders have drinking problems. He's not disciplined. He balloons up in weight. This was all of the things that we was hearing about Billy Joe Saunders. That he wasn't disciplined. He'll go months and months and, you know what I'm saying, months and months without training. Walking around way overweight. We saw all of the pictures, right, with Billy Joe always being overweight. We heard people talking about his discipline outside of the ring. He don't take boxing serious all the time. He's on and off with boxing. Then he gets caught with PEDs, and bam, faces Mark Murray. Then he fights Canelo Alvarez. So Billy Joe, and that was for the WBO. That was for his WBO title at 168. So how did Billy Joe win a WBO title at 168? Who did he fight? Oh, damn. Here we go. What do we got here, y'all? What the fuck do we have here? Billy Joe Saunders at 168 pounds, right? He fights for a vacant title. He wins a vacant WBO title at super middleweight versus Shafat Usfi. Now, let's stop right there, y'all. Who the fuck is Shafat Usfi? So Billy Joe became a world champion at 168 by fighting Shafat Usfi. Who the fuck is that? Who is that? Somebody help me out. Anybody in here that can help me out and let me know. So anybody know who Shafat Usfi is? Don't nobody know? Don't nobody know? Nobody know. Because I know a lot of people in the background, y'all got a lot to say, but when we talk about the real shit and when we look deep into what's going on, how did Billy Joe become a champion at 168? Well, he became a champion because he got to fight for a vacant title against Shafat Usfi. Who the fuck is he? Shafat Usfi. So you mean to tell me that Billy Joe became a champion at 168 because he fought this dude? This is the dude that he fought to become a champion at 168 pounds. This motherfucker right here. This motherfucker right here is who he fought to become a champion at 168. The great Billy Joe Saunders. Let's blow him up some more. Let's blow Shafat Usfi. For y'all don't know who Shafat Usfi is. This is him. This is him, y'all. This is how nobody never questioned how Billy Joe became champion at 168 pounds. People just assumed that Billy Joe was a legit champion at 168. Everybody, well, Billy Joe. Shafat Usfi. That's him. This is the famous Shafat Usfi that Billy Joe fought to become a champion at 168, y'all. We getting a lot of answers today because it matters who you fought, who they fought, and who they fought. This is Shafat Usfi, y'all. The great Shafat Usfi. The great Shafat Usfi right here. 33 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws, and ain't fought nobody that we know in his whole fucking entire career. Nobody. We can't, look, you can't pronounce none of these names on this motherfucking resume. But this is how Billy Joe became a champion at super middleweight. He beat the great Shafat Usfi. Let's move on, y'all. Hold on. Let's move on. So then Billy Joe, bam. He gets Canelo Alvarez, right? After beating Martin Murray, that was old as hell, 40-year-old Martin Murray, that, you know what I'm saying, that got 6 L's on his record, 1 draw, and, you know, then lost to everybody that's somebody, right? This man been losing you go all the way back to 2015. You go all the way back to 2013. He didn't lost to, everybody that was somebody. But then like I said, then he gets to fight Canelo Alvarez, right? Canelo Alvarez, and he defends his one title, the WBO title that he got from beating the great Shafat Usfi. And Canelo Alvarez has 2 other titles, right? 3 titles on the line. So bam, Canelo stops Billy Joe in the 8th round. So let's talk about it. Talk about the Billy Joe win. Hold on, y'all. So was Billy Joe, now that we saw how Billy Joe became a champion at 168, we went down Billy Joe's resume. We went over how Billy Joe popped dirty for PEDs, and he really didn't fight nobody after that, and he never looked good after that. Let's talk about it. Was him beating Billy Joe a great win? Was that a great win? Was it? And you still in here watching Mike S. I don't have to try to do nothing. I don't have to try to do nothing, bro. I mean, the fucking proof is right in front of your face. That's why you watching it. You in here watching. It's funny that you watching. Now, like I said, the proof is right in front of your face. Now, was Billy Joe a great win? I'm just asking. We just went over everything that Billy Joe had done. What Billy Joe had done, his last 4 fights leading up to the Canelo Alvarez fight. Was that a great win? The answer is no. Wasn't shit great about that win. Was it a solid win? We'll say it was a solid win, right? But that win was no better than, it wasn't no better than Terrence Crawford beating goddamn, you know what? It wasn't no better than Terrence Crawford beating Jeff Horn. Nobody brags about Terrence Crawford beating Jeff Horn except for fucking Bud Crawford diehard fanatics that think everything that he does is just fucking great. That win against Billy Joe was not no greater than Terrence Crawford beating Jeff Horn. It wasn't. And like I said, I'm a Canelo Alvarez. I've been a fan of Canelo Alvarez. I didn't roll for Canelo Alvarez. But like I said, wasn't no greater than Terrence Crawford beating Jeff Horn. That wasn't no great win. If Canelo Alvarez, like I said, when I first started this breakdown, I said, we holding Canelo Alvarez, if you saying that he's an A+ fighter, he is on that high standard. You holding him, right? A lot of y'all hold Canelo Alvarez on that same level that you held Floyd Mayweather to. A lot of y'all holding him. Floyd Mayweather was an A++ level fighter. Y'all say Canelo Alvarez is an A++ level fighter. When Floyd Mayweather went and beat guys like, let's say, Victor Ortiz, or when Floyd Mayweather beat dudes like, what's the other dude that Floyd Mayweather whooped? What's his name? Man, you guys like this, man? You like this guy, fool? What's the dude? Robert Guerrero, right? Robert Guerrero. When Floyd Mayweather beat Robert Guerrero, did anybody put Robert Guerrero, after he lost to Floyd Mayweather, did anybody give Floyd Mayweather credit like that? Did they say, man, that was a fucking great win by Floyd Mayweather because he beat Robert Guerrero? Did anybody say that? Just asking. Did anybody praise Floyd Mayweather and put him on the fucking highest pedestal because he went out there and beat Robert Guerrero? No, nobody did. You know what type of credit Floyd Mayweather got for beating Robert Guerrero? They said he was supposed to beat Robert Guerrero. He went out there and he did what the fuck he was supposed to do. That's what they said. Nobody gave him credit for beating Robert Guerrero. They was just like, hey, he was supposed to. Nobody was jumping up and down for joy because he beat Robert Guerrero. You know why they didn't? Because they held Floyd Mayweather to a higher standard. If they say Floyd Mayweather is way up here, well, he's supposed to beat guys like Robert Guerrero. So it wasn't nothing special that he did by beating the Robert Guerrero. Now, if going back to Canelo Alvarez, if you are holding him to that same standard, why are y'all calling a Billy Joe Saunders fight, him beating Billy Joe, a great win? It's either he's on that standard or he not. If y'all saying he great, why is him beating Billy Joe Saunders a great win? Can anybody answer that? You always talking about, oh man, Canelo in his prime could have did this to Floyd Mayweather. He could have did this to Floyd Mayweather. He could have. Okay, if you're holding him on that motherfucking pedestal, if you're holding him to that standard, why is a Billy Joe Saunders a great win? Okay, it ain't a great win. Let's move on. It's not a great win. Let's keep it real. Cut the fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Billy Joe Saunders is no great win at all. He did what he was supposed to do, just like Floyd Mayweather did what he was supposed to do when he beat Robert Guerrero. Cut the bullshit. Stop it. Now, my guy, Caleb Plant. This is my guy. Caleb Plant. I said, you know what? Caleb Plant is the first opponent, right, that I think that can beat Canelo at 168. He's the first solid opponent to me. This is what I said, right? We keeping it real all the way around the board. I said Caleb Plant is going to beat Canelo Alvarez, right? I said Caleb Plant, I like Caleb Plant. I said I think that his boxing skills is, you know, up there. I said I think he got A-level boxing skills, his movement, and I think that Caleb Plant whole temperament, he going to go in there and win, and he going in there to not lay down, right? I said Caleb Plant is the guy. I got Caleb Plant. Now, let's go down Caleb Plant's resume. A lot of people told me, you full of shit. They said Caleb Plant ain't got a fucking chance in hell because Caleb Plant ain't fought no fucking body. That's what they told me. I said, you full of shit. Caleb Plant, he beat Uzcategui when Uzcategui was the boogeyman at 168. This is what I said. So I said, yeah, Caleb Plant is that. I said, I think Caleb Plant going to beat Canelo. I said, I think it's going to be a very competitive fight, right? But I think that Caleb Plant going to be able to edge it out. That's what I said. Let's look at Caleb Plant's resume because they told me he hadn't fought nobody. Nobody. Let's see. Nobody. Okay. Porky Medina was the first real opponent that he fought, and he pretty much pitched the shutout versus Porky Medina. Let's see what Porky Medina got 9 L's on his record. So it ain't like the man don't know how to lose. It ain't like that he ain't lost to a lot of other fighters. His last L was Caleb Plant, but before that he lost to David Benavidez, Benavidez stopped him. A young David Benavidez. At that, David Benavidez was probably, let me see, 2017, 18, 19, 21, 22. David Benavidez was probably 19 to 20 years old when he stopped Porky Medina. He lost to James DeGale. James DeGale was a solid ass fighter. So he lost to Badu Jack by TKO. So Porky Medina was a solid fighter, but a fighter that already got his ass beat by plenty of other opponents before Caleb Plant whooped him. So then, right after Porky Medina, Caleb Plant finally get his first title shot against Jose Uzcategui. This is the fight that we give Caleb Plant all of the credit in the world for, because he was able to go out there and beat Jose Uzcategui. Now, let's look and see what Jose Uzcategui did leading up to a Caleb Plant fight. Nobody. We don't know them. We're going to skip over all of them. Jose Uzcategui, he fought Porky Medina also, and he beat Porky Medina. So he beat the same guy that Caleb Plant beat, but Caleb Plant fought Porky Medina after Jose Uzcategui already had beat him. Nobody. Uzcategui, he fought Kobarov, and he lost to Kobarov, right? By unanimous decision. So Kobarov already had beat Uzcategui. Kobarov already had beat him, right? Then he fights Daniel Mendez, Julius Jackson, Derek Finley, Fabio Pena. Nobody's, right? Then he fights Andre Dirrell. Now, Andre Dirrell at one point in time was a pound-for-pound fighter. But in 2017, when Andre Dirrell lost back-to-back, well, one of them was a DQ, but we know that Uzcategui was beating the shit out of Andre Dirrell, right? But he lost by disqualification. And then he got a rematch against Andre Dirrell, and he stopped him in 8 rounds. At that point, Andre Dirrell was a shell of himself. Andre Dirrell wasn't the same fighter no more, so we can't really give Uzcategui credit like that for beating Andre Dirrell when Andre Dirrell was basically just like I said earlier how George Grove was. He was a shell of himself, just like George Grove was when Colin Smith beat him. Andre Dirrell wasn't that guy no more, right? So he beat Andre Dirrell, beat somebody named Moderna that we don't know, and then he fought Caleb Plant, and he lost to Caleb Plant. This is Caleb Plant biggest win right here, Jose Uzcategui. And we gave Caleb Plant all the credit in the world because he beat Uzcategui. Then let's see what Uzcategui did after he lost to Caleb Plant. He beat Roberto Valdez, with a fighter that was 10 wins and 9 losses. And then he lost again to Lionel Thompson, who was 21-5. Hold on. Lionel Thompson has a record of 22-5. So Lonnie B, he beat Jose Uzcategui. Caleb Plant beat Jose Uzcategui. Now, when I look at this shit, I gotta say that y'all was right. I think we might have put too much of sauce on Caleb Plant for beating Jose Uzcategui. But let's move on. Let's see who else let's see what Caleb Plant did after the Jose Uzcategui fight. He beat Mike Lee by TKO in the 3rd round. The man, Mike Lee, was a fucking the dude on a Subway commercial. Trash. He beat Figgin Butts. And he stopped him in the 10th round. Trash. He beat Caleb Truex. Caleb Truex is a solid fighter, but he ain't no top level fighter. He's a solid C-level fighter. You know what I'm saying? So then he fights Canelo Alvarez. So that's Canelo Alvarez's final win to become undisputed at 168 pounds. We just went over everybody that he fought, and we went over who they fought. That was his win, his final win to become undisputed at 168. Now, at 154, he could have did the same thing, but it was some champions at 154. We had, was it Jamal Charlo was a champion at 154? Demetrius Andrade was a champion at 154. And whoever else, I can't remember whoever else was champions but at 154. Skipped around them. Nah, I ain't finna do that. But at 160, Canelo Alvarez had a big opportunity to become undisputed at 160. All he had to do is go through. All he had to do is fight Demetrius Andrade and that guy, Jamal Charlo. That's all he had to do. So when you look at it, and you look at his road to undisputed at 168, and then you look and say, well, why did he do that at 160? Well, I just showed y'all why he decided to do it at 168, because when we go over those opponents and who he had to fight, you know what he did? Y'all know what he did? He took the easy route. That was the easy route. Yeah. That was the easy route, y'all. You know one thing that Canelo and Terrence Bud Crawford both have in common? They both had the easiest routes to undisputed that I've seen. Now, he beat some solid fighters, but he didn't have to fight no A-level fighter throughout that whole road to undisputed. So, let's go back, because y'all want to act like that it was so great that he became undisputed, right? Wasn't nothing great about that shit. Nothing at all. Because if you're saying that Canelo Alvarez is a great fighter at 168, that's what you say. None of those fighters on his resume were A-level fighters. None of them. From what they had done in their past, none of those fighters, when you pull up their resume and who they fought and who they beat, none of those fighters were A-level fighters. So if you were A-plus level fighter and you beating all B-level fighters and C-level fighters, are you supposed to win? Tell me, are those fights that you're supposed to win? So all he did was go to 168. He saw an easy path, and he beat opponents that he was supposed to beat. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, Lewis, don't come up in my chat talking about no motherfucking Viva La Mexico. It ain't no Viva La Mexico in here, because I don't go on nobody's channel and I don't be putting no black pride flags up. So don't come in here with that bullshit. You do that shit over somebody else's channel. Ain't no fucking Viva La Mexico, because I don't come into nobody else's chat dropping black pride flags. I don't do that shit. Don't do that shit up in here. So, I'm just saying, if he is an A-plus level fighter, why is it so great that he beat a list of C-level and B-level fighters? I'm just asking. What is the difference from what he did than what Terrence Crawford did at 140? What is the difference? Words show me the difference between what he did and what Terrence Crawford did at 140 pounds. I don't see no difference. I see a whole lot of similarities from what he did and what Terrence Crawford did. They both had a very easy path to undisputed. Terrence Crawford did it at 140. Canelo Alvarez did it at 168. Wasn't no fucking difference. They both fought the same fucking level of competition. And Caleb Plant is one of my favorite fighters. But if I'm going to break everything down and I got to keep it real, I got to keep it real. I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? As much as I didn't want to talk about Caleb Plant, I had to. I couldn't not talk about Caleb Plant just because he's my guy and I fuck with him. I had to keep it 100 with y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I didn't even want to put Caleb Plant in there because I fuck with the guy. That's my guy. But I had to. And if we're gonna keep it 100, we gotta keep it 100 all the way around the board. It wasn't really no difference between what he did than what Canelo Alvarez did. The only difference was the undisputed fight. Yeah, Dundada, you are correct. Caleb Plant, right? He fought. Terrence Crawford fought Ndongo to become undisputed, right? Canelo fought Caleb Plant. Now, Caleb Plant is a much better fighter than Ndongo. I will give you that. But Canelo got an Ndongo in that run. In that run that Canelo did, he got his Ndongo. It ain't in the same order, but he got an Ndongo because if you're going to tell me Abner Yildirim ain't on the same level as an Ndongo, what the fuck is he then? So they both got an Ndongo on their resume. Abner Yildirim is an Ndongo. We just went down the whole resume. Like I said, you can't deny the shit that was in your face. So if you tell me that Canelo is an A+ level fighter, he is one of the greatest Mexicans, one of the greatest fighters. Fuck if he Mexican, purple, or yellow. He one of the greatest fighters that ever stepped in the ring. If you say that, well, you cannot turn around and say that it was great. He did something great by becoming undisputed at 168. Because if you look at the opponents, it was nothing great about that. Nothing at all. So it's either he's great or he's not. If he's great, then he did something normal. He did what he was supposed to do. You feel me? If he was great, all he did was what he was supposed to do. So, for all of the Canelo fanatics, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to tell y'all right now, don't nobody else grab the link. I want the Canelo fanatics to jump on here today. You ain't got to type no more in the motherfucking chat. You don't have to type no more in the chat. Grab a link and defend it. Because y'all like to type in the chat. Here, you ain't got to type no more in the chat. Hold on. I'm dropping the link right here. And I'm going to pin the link. So I'm letting you know. I'm letting y'all know. I'm not adding nobody, but ones that want to get up here and defend Canelo Alvarez. And defend, like I said, I'm not shitting on Canelo, but at the end of the day, you can't say what he did was great. And I want you to tell me why what he did was great to y'all. There it is. I bet y'all won't fucking grab that link. I bet y'all don't want no smoke. Y'all like to type in the chat. Nah, grab that link. Grab the link. Hey, shooters, if they continue to type in the chat and they don't want to grab the link, time them out. Time them out. Grab a link. Be a man and grab the fucking link. Tom Oscar out. Hey, Cassandra, Queen, Tom Oscar out. Tom out Oscar. Let him sit in the background and say he don't want to grab no link. I gave him a chance to grab a link. Grab a link. You can talk faster than you can type. So, like I said, once again, for y'all that don't have a fucking good sense of comprehension, he is either a great A+ level fighter. He's great. I don't have no problem with you calling him great. I don't have no problem with you saying, hey, look, because I think he's a hell of a fighter. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I think Canelo Alvarez is an A+ level fighter. I think he's one of the best fighters in all of boxing today by a long shot, right? That is why I do not think what he did at 168 was great, because I think that at 168, what he did, it wasn't nothing great about that shit. He only did what he was supposed to do, because no fighter on there that he beat at 168 was nowhere near a great fighter. He didn't beat a fighter. That whole resume that I broke down, nothing was great about no fighter on there. Nothing. So you can't have it both ways. Canelo is either a great fighter and he did what he was supposed to do at 168, or he ain't a great fighter. Now, like I said, if you want some smoke, grab the link. It's funny how everybody always want to type and type and type. These motherfuckers been typing in the chat until they motherfucking fingers got blisters on them, but they scared to hit the link. The link is dangling right up in front of their face every time they fucking go to type, but they scared to hit the link. The whole time I was breaking down I dug deep inside of it. I dug deep inside his whole run at 168, right? I showed you who he fought and who they fought. You motherfuckers was typing 1,000,000 miles an hour in the goddamn chat. You had 1,000,000 things to say. But all of a sudden now, the chat is right there, and you come on here and defend everything you said. You can defend it. You can make me look like I was a clown. I was a fool. I was a fucking racist. Everything. I was everything in the book. But you motherfuckers is too scared to come up in here and show your fucking nuts. Now all of a sudden, it's quiet in the motherfucker. Now all of a sudden, ain't nobody want to say shit. It was Viva la Mexicos and Mexican flags and all type of shit. But now, don't nobody got nothing to say. Nobody got nothing to say now. What the fuck going on now? Don't nobody got nothing to say. So Mike S says, you probably muted them all like you did me when I was speaking my piece earlier. First of all, I ain't muted nobody. Second of all, the link is right there. So tell everybody how you got muted. Right there, Mike S. Right there. There's the link. Tap on it. Tap on the link, Mike S. You said that I muted you earlier and I muted everybody, right? That's your story. Well, you have the chance of your lifetime right now to tap that motherfucking link and let everybody know how you feel. Won't. This real interesting. Y'all scared that y'all had everything to say. Cassandra, they had everything to say earlier. Had everything to say earlier, but now nothing. Smoke, what the deal is?
What's up, man? I'm listening to you cook, and I didn't come to contradict nothing you said. I came to let you know that I agree with you 100%. Canelo is a major talent. That dude got crazy squabbles. Nobody 168 was hold the candle to him. Yeah, whatever. None of them. I didn't think they were competitive. He was a prohibitive favorite in all of those fights. What are you supposed to say? Yes, he's the first person to become undisputed. But if you look at the greatest 168 pounder ever to lace him up, you wouldn't think Canelo Alvarez. What he did at 168 is not better than what Joe Calzaghe did at 168.
Yeah, I was dropping the link for all of the dudes that was talking shit the whole time in the chat. That but I guess they don't want to grab the link. So y'all, I'm gonna drop. Here go Batman. So I'm gonna let y'all cook.
I came on here to tell y'all Canelo Alvarez is the best thing smoking. He's the best boxer ever. He's the best boxer ever. He's exciting. Viva la Mexico. This is what's going on. Canelo, I'm with Money Brown. Canelo Alvarez is my second favorite fighter.
You crazy?
Yeah, he's my second favorite active fighter. Ain't my second favorite fighter.
Hey, you crazy as hell, Batman. But but like I said, this wasn't. See, my whole thing of doing this, right? This wasn't for me to shit on Canelo Alvarez. This is what I wanted to really go over everything with the people to see. Well, okay, he became undisputed at 168. We know that he is a very good fighter and he's very talented. We know that he is one of the best fighters in all of boxing. But what he did wasn't great. Because if we hold him on that high standard in that pedestal, well, I want to find out, right? I want to find out if what he did was fucking great. And when I did that, the whole show, it let me know that it wasn't nothing special about nothing that he did at 168. The only thing that was special about what he did was that he was able to stay a lot more active than any other fighter. Other than that, it wasn't nothing special. What was special to me was him showing his dedication to the sport, right? A lot of these fighters, they ain't active. They don't show no dedication, right? But that was the only thing that I got that was special out of that run, is that he showed that he is dedicated to the sport of boxing. He stay in shape. He stay training. And he's able to, and for that, he's able to stay active and to continue to fight, and show how good he is. But other than that, when you look at the opponents, it wasn't nothing special about that. Wasn't nothing no better than what he did than what Terrence Crawford did at 140 at all.
I've been saying this for I don't know how long, and all of a sudden y'all come to this realization. That's what get me. I've been saying this shit forever. that he been avoiding the fucking tough fighters. He was on a European tour, fucking them boys up, and he had one American who I guess they thought we was just going, I don't understand. Y'all fucking can't see what I've been telling y'all forever. Forever.
The
This
only
motherfucker
thing
he's been avoiding the tough fights since 154. Everybody know it. Everybody see it. They can say what the fuck they want. All of this Viva la Mexico. I ain't got nothing against Mexico. I don't give a fuck, dude. The truth is the truth. Y'all hate the truth.
But see, my thing is, Coach, right? My thing is, Coach, don't come in my motherfucking chat dropping no Mexican flags. Don't come in my chat talking about some Viva la Mexico, because, like I said, I don't go to nobody's channel dropping black pride flags, out black power fist, talking about black fighters is the best in the world. Y'all can't stand it. I don't go in nobody's shit doing that. And I never seen nobody on this channel, nobody up on this panel, right? I never seen none of y'all. I see everybody on this panel in other people's chats. I never seen none of y'all go and do that shit, right?
No.
But they always come over here and do that shit. And don't do that. Don't do that. Because that shit ain't slide. That shit not finna slide over here. Now, if somebody else let y'all do that shit, that's cool. But you ain't gonna do that over here.
Listen, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you what that's about. That's about motherfucking, that ain't about no fucking pride in Mexico. That is called insecurity. When you gotta fucking do that, that's called insecure in your fucking self and in your fucking people. That's what that's called. See, we don't have to do that because we secure with who the fuck we are, right? We ain't gotta go and do all that shit because we know every fucking body want to be like us in the first fucking place, right?
Preach, Coach.
They steal every fucking thing from us, right? So we don't have to go and do all of that shit on their channel. But when you're insecure and you don't fucking, and I gotta display all this racism bullshit, it don't have nothing to do with that. This is boxing. David Benavidez is one of my fucking favorite fighters, and everybody on this panel know it.
Right.
Everybody. And he ain't fucking black. I don't give a fuck about that shit. All I care about, why this motherfucker keep avoiding the fights that we want to see.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, Coach, is we come in here, we come in here, Coach, and we trying to talk boxing, right? We not talking about, because he Mexican or because he black or because he motherfucking Russian. We talking about boxing. And they come in here and they come with the bullshit and make it that. You feel what I'm saying? Because Savage Mason blocks the clown. Get his bitch ass up out of my chat, the JC motherfucking dude.
The point you made for me, Keon, is none of them fighters they gotta be shitty fighters too, because they got the same resume as Boo Boo Andre.
Yeah, but you want to see that every time. Listen, this is like I said before, this like this. If a motherfucker tell you, well, who has he fought? That's excuse for fucking putting a fucking bill on your face and some fucking flippers on and being a fucking duck. That's all it is.
But now, hey, Coach, this what I tell him. He's a champion just like everybody else.
Right. And then when you go,
well,
didn't you say, well, I didn't like that fight. Well, Amir Khan. Well, I really didn't like that fight either. And as you go through the fucking list, Rocky Fielding. Well, I didn't really like. Well, fuck, dude, you keep supporting this shit fights, right? So you're a dumb motherfucker because I don't support shit fights. Me, understand? I don't do that because if a motherfucker move like he moved and you not fighting the best every time because of how much fucking you make. Just like last night with Drico. I got into it with Drico. Drico took everything I said out of context. Everything. I told this motherfucker, I said, listen, for the type of money Canelo Alvarez is making, we should be seeing him fight the best every fucking fight. Right?
Facts.
Because we put that on our fucking fighters who are black fighters. You understand? We want them to fight the best. If Errol Spence move like Canelo, I'm at his fucking hat too. Right? So So these motherfuckers, he said, well, you said Canelo make too much money. I said, you know what? Go put your fucking dunce cap on because you fucking retarded, bro. This don't make no sense. You took everything out of context. I've been saying this about Canelo forever and ever in a day. He don't want to fight the best fights. He just want to make money and fight the easy. He's like water. If you take water and you put rocks in the way, it's gonna go the path of least resistance. That's what he does. Now, I'm gonna say this: the Bivol fight, I can appreciate that fight. I like that fight. I think that's gonna be a very good, hard fight for Canelo Alvarez. He may win, he may lose. That's the kind of fights I want to see, right? But then you're gonna turn right back around and fuck with GGG and John Ryder. Man, suck my dick. I don't give a fuck. That's some bullshit. I don't want to see that. So that's how it go, bro. They can say whatever they want.
You know, me and you disagree on the Bivol, right? I mean, I respect it. He's a champion, just like the rest of them dudes was champion at 168, right?
Bivol's solid.
But to me, Bivol ain't nothing special. I think
Bivol
that Canelo is go.
Listen, Bivol
hold on.
beat every fighter on his resume.
Hold on. Could Bivol, when Canelo fight him, he's gonna show that Bivol was never nothing special. I saw Bivol against the last opponent that he fought. He looked motherfucking mediocre. I saw him fight Craig Richards, and Craig Richards gave him a lot of problems. And Craig Richards is a domestic level UK fighter, right? And I said, damn, this motherfucker ain't that good. Then the only reason Bivol, right, his best opponent that he beat was motherfucking Joe Smith. And Joe Smith is slow as a goddamn snail.
Hold on.
All Joe Smith got is he's big and he got power, right? He gonna come straight forward.
Hold on. Hey, Keon. It could have been a play for the overlay, baby. You know, you got to reel this motherfucker in because he don't want to fight the motherfuckers he's supposed to fight. So he might have watered down the shit, dog. You did.
Well, I'm telling you, I'll study Bivol and I'll look.
Bivol is a very, very, very good fighter.
Who he beat, coach?
Every motherfucker they put in front of
He
you.
impressed me in the John Pascal fight.
Yeah, he didn't impress me then either. He's like you said, it's straight up and down, no special effects. There's something missing from him. The dude don't even you know what? Like he doesn't have a nickname. There's just something missing from him. Something from his name, something from his game. He don't have that. He don't have a killer instinct. He's king of going 12 rounds with no matter who the hell you put in front of him. He ain't that good.
He's not that good. I'm telling y'all. And I've been saying this.
That he do good.
I've been saying this shit before he got the Canelo fight. And this don't have nothing to do with Canelo.
Listen, like I told y'all gonna see that this boy gonna give Canelo the most problems Canelo ever had in the fucking ring besides Floyd and maybe Laura. I promise you this.
It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, nah.
Watch and see. All right.
I'm saying so.
Watch and see.
Well, I thought Austin Trout did a pretty good job too.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying he can't do he can't do something like that. But all I'm saying is, as far as a fight, of all the fights out there, if you're gonna fight somebody at 175, I would have preferred the better be fight because I think you get more intrigue. If you want to talk about somebody that can crack and maybe hurt Canelo, it's not Bivol. Bivol, he does well.
Zorro beat the shit out of Bivol. Zorro Ramirez will beat the shit out of Bivol.
It's just I don't know about that. I'm not saying it's a bad fight, like you're saying. I'm not mad at Canelo for fighting Bivol. And really, I'm not mad at Canelo at all. Like these are grown men. This is their career. They can fight whoever the hell they want to fight. We just talk about it after the fact, right? But there is some intrigue because it's a higher weight class. We've seen Canelo out there. Like Canelo is just a better fighter than this guy. That's really like straight up and down. This dude, Canelo's better than this dude. Like really, it's just a different weight class that we only see Canelo fight tired Kovalev. That's all I'm saying.
Let me say this real quick. Dundada say that Bivol is a master technician. Where is Bivol a master technician? You heard David, I've seen him fight. You can't tell me what I fucking see. I done seen almost every fight that Bivol, and once he starts stepping up in competition, right? Not even big step ups, you see that Bivol is straight up and down. It ain't nothing fucking master about shit that he do. I seen.
Let me cook.
David Benavidez, right? Okay, let's say David Benavidez been in the ring with him, sparred hundreds of rounds with Bivol. What did he say? He said this dude don't do nothing special. David Benavidez was beating the shit out of Bivol and sparring. He said ain't nothing special about him. He's like, he's straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? He said he got just a jab, a straight right. He said he doesn't do nothing special. He said Canelo Alvarez is going to destroy Bivol. So you mean to tell me that y'all know more than David Benavidez do? When David Benavidez been in the ring and sparred hundreds of rounds with the man?
No, but styles make fights, and David Benavidez got a style that's bad for Bivol. If he can put him on his back foot, but Bivol is great at controlling the distance.
Bro, Bivol,
I will say that.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, Bivol, he gonna be right there in front of you. That's Canelo. He don't move. He don't have no lateral movement. Yeah, he can box. Yeah, he can box, but he's not no fucking great, excellent boxer. It ain't shit that he do. Go back and watch him.
He don't do nothing good, but he got a very active jab. And any fighter, and he got a high punch output.
Craig Richards. Go back and watch him fight Craig Richards.
I'm saying, look at him fight a dead Pascal. Pascal was dead in that fight, and he couldn't do nothing with Pascal. Couldn't fight. It was just the same old combinations over and over. Pascal was tricking him and popping him off the side. Like, yeah, I mean, Canelo's gonna have a field day with this dude. Like,
you know what I'm saying, like, Canelo know what he's doing. Well, I don't have no problem with it because he is a legit champion at 175.
See, I disagree. Right? I watched that fight and seen him isolate John Pascal.
Bro, Canelo knows that this dude don't have nothing for him. And I'll be willing to bet anybody any money that they want to put on the line that Canelo finna destroy this dude.
I'm not saying that he didn't handle Pascal well. I'm saying that Pascal was dead in that fight after 4 rounds. Like he didn't have a shot in that fight, and it still went 12. And Pascal was still making it exciting in the 10th and 11th, even though he had absolutely nothing for Bivol. Right? Like Bivol couldn't get him out of there. He was doing the same thing over and over. Couldn't make the adjustment to figure out like how to he just took what Pascal was giving him. That's it. Is it like there's nothing that he couldn't set traps on him? There was no tricking him out or anything. It's just Pascal was way he was a shell of himself. If you got that same Pascal like 5
in the pocket,
I'm just saying
the things that he do well is play the angles. He got a very active jab.
1-2.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's you got it exactly right. He's got to act. Well, I don't even know that his jab is that active. It's fairly active. It's not active enough for Canelo. Like not for Canelo's body movement. That jab is not.
I'll get the outside the box. I did just drop a video on Dimitri Bivol too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like from the guys with active jabs, I'll say that like Smith, right? That jab was real active, way more active than Bivol's jab, right? And what did that do?
Smith ain't shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like an active jab, like it's not like he got this stun jab, but he's got to keep you on his jab.
And if you watch the Smith fight, that was the first time we really seen him isolate his head off the line and separate Joe Smith's right hand, which is the same thing he did to Pascal. He isolated that right hand, and he got a high IQ. So I don't feel like you can take that from him. He's a high IQ boxer.
Well,
he just can't fight in the pocket.
I'm telling you what's going on. The zone,
also can't make
everybody around the zone and everybody that's building this fight, they're going to try to build it to make y'all think this fight is just so dangerous for Canelo Alvarez. This is the most dangerous fight that he's been in. And then when you see Canelo go in there and beat the shit out of Bivol and make that shit look fairly easy, I'm telling y'all what's happening. Bivol, I studied Bivol.
Can I say this?
He's a good fighter, but he ain't nothing great about Bivol.
Can I say this?
I'm rocking with you, Kia. I'm in agreement with you, dog.
Go ahead, Batman.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
Bivol, he got a good jab. He got a good 1-2.
That's it.
He's a straight up and down fighter. He don't move. He don't move his upper body. He don't slip. So he's going to be there for Canelo's overhand. He's going to be there for Canelo's body shot. The body shot going to turn into the hook. He's going to be right in line for everything. That's why they picked him. I mean, that's my
I agree,
assessment of it.
and I agree with you cold-heartedly. They picked him because they know.
So
you know what I'm saying? Other than that, he would have went
disagree,
straight
man.
after that monster
that
and knocked out
his jab is active enough to keep Canelo off his back foot. Canelo don't like being on that back foot.
But,
okay, so like I said, do you remember that? Do you remember not the
So you're not about to close the distance on him when he don't throw no punches.
So
do you think Bivol's jab is more active
check that video
than
out.
Caleb Plant's jab?
Round throwing 20 straight punches.
Do you think his jab is more active than Caleb Plant's jab or
yes,
Smith's
I think
jab?
Bivol jab is way more active than Caleb Plant's.
It's not better.
It's not a better jab. You're right, Batman. I'm with you there. It's not a better jab, but it's a more active jab.
Right.
So you're talking about keeping the fighter out of the pocket. It's the active jab that's gonna keep him off your ass and gonna allow you to keep your head off the line.
So you remember the Smith fight, Smith versus Canelo, right? That tall dude. You saw how active that jab was, right? That whole fight, all dude was doing was jab the entire night. Jab and try to move, jab and try to move. Is Bivol jab that active?
Nah, it wasn't that active in that fight, but that's when the first time you seen him rotate counterclockwise so he could see that jab and deal with it and keep his ass out the pocket.
Let me say this. Let me say this real quick. Hold on. Let me say this, right? Let me say this, right? Y'all putting all of this sauce on Bivol, right? Bivol fought Craig Richards. Craig Richards, a UK fighter, that's a domestic level UK fighter. And I'm going to read y'all the scores.
Well, I agree with you there.
Hold on, I'm going to read y'all the scores. Craig Richards, he struggled with Craig Richards. He barely beat Craig Richards. Let me read y'all the scores to the Craig Richards fight with Bivol. 114 to 115, Bivol. 113 to 115, Bivol. He barely beat Craig Richards. This is a man that is 17. He was at the point in time, Craig Richards was 17-1 with one draw and 10 KOs. Bivol fought him 2 fights ago and struggled with him. Y'all see the judges' scorecards. He barely won. He won by 1 round. Barely won. 1 round and by 2 rounds, right? He barely won. And you telling me that this is the dude that's supposed to go in and beat Canelo Alvarez and give him the toughest fight of his career? Man, miss me with that shit. I've seen what I need to see with Bivol.
Listen to this, though.
I've seen what I need to see.
Bivol got a jab you can time. You can time and slip. He got one of them jabs. His jab it's not that fast. He's active with it. But it's one of them jabs you can time, slip, touch the body. He's going to be there for all that shit.
Oh man, what's up?
And then if Canelo get in his wheelhouse, he can't fight in the inside.
Facts.
It's not if, it's when, because his legs are cement, right? Like he's not moving around. He's not lateral moving. I mean, he's good. He is good at maintaining distance. But Canelo is excellent at collapsing distance. So
closing distance with non-athletic fighters. Yes, he is.
Let's see who Bivol beat since he's so fucking great. Bivol,
he ain't beat nobody, Keon.
Well, I ain't saying he's great neither.
I'm
just saying that he got things that he do well, and if he can
beat nobody
do these things,
like
he got a chance in the dark.
Light heavyweight ain't nobody paying attention to it for real. So he ain't beat nobody. But this is what I'm saying right here. But ain't nobody go in rage when what's his name? When Eddie Reynoso just told y'all that black athletic fighters are dangerous. Come on, man.
They know that. That's why they're not fighting them. So like, I don't know why people got this idea that somebody that ain't fought nobody all of a sudden gonna beat the guy that they pay the most in boxing.
know what I'm saying, bro? I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. Everybody, and then Keon, they do this every time. They do this every time with like some prayer and hope. If he can do this, if he can do that in this fight, he ain't did it against. He ain't even did that against a Billy Joe Saunders level fighter. He ain't even beat a Billy Joe Saunders level fighter yet.
This is a dangerous fight for Canelo. I know what they're supposed to do to try to hype everybody up to make Bivol look like he's so motherfucking dangerous. Before Canelo was even on his radar, I was saying the same thing I'm saying now. I said, hey, Bivol ain't nothing special about this dude. I've been watching him his whole career. I've seen Bivol fight live. I've been ringside watching him fight before. Ain't nothing special about him.
He got the same rhythm. He's easy to time, like Batman was saying. The dudes, people act like Canelo don't got jab defense. Like he parries the jab, he ducks the jab, and he'll catch the jab. So he got 3 ways to defend one punch that this dude got. Caleb Plant had a good jab, didn't he?
Right.
the jab? He take a jab away. Once he take a jab away, what do the fighter got?
You can't tell me that a man got he got a real good 1-2. That ain't shit against Canelo. A 1-2?
No, it ain't.
A man
it ain't because Canelo.
He don't move. He don't have no foot movement. He not gonna show you different angles and move like that because he can walk you down and give you a good 1-2. And he head hunt. All his shit be to the head.
He also makes no adjustments. What it is. Like if I saw this guy,
nobody if he had a different isolate gear, the right hand and keep Canelo off that front foot.
If buts and candy nuts, they all ifs every time they fight.
But like Boxing Smoke said earlier, I respect him if he went after the top dog at 125 and that was Bivol.
Bivol 175.
I mean, better be. Dang, yeah, 175. Better be. I'd have respected more if he went out to Better Beef because Better Beef the more dangerous.
Facts.
Yeah, exactly. And I would pick Canelo to win that fight also, right? Like Canelo's way sharper right now. You know, Better Beef got a heart, but we saw how rusty he was in his last fight. You know, like I think that I think that the fight is likely to go 12. More likely to go 12. With the
thing that Bitter Beef will cause the problem.
The fight to me is just better.
Bitter Beef is dangerous because
Bitter Beef gonna carry him fast. He gonna carry him fast. Bivol ain't gonna carry him fast.
Bivol Better Beef just fought Marcus Brown.
Bitter Beef is gonna carry him fast, and he gonna run his tank down. That's 2 different fights. Bivol can't run his tank down because Bivol gonna fight at his pace. Canelo is a master at pace and all of that. He make them dudes fight at his pace. Nobody speeds him up. Nobody. You can't beat a dude like that. The only way that Wilder.
Another reason he didn't take that Bitter Beef fight is because, we know that overall Canelo is a better boxer fighter than Bitter Beef, but Bitter Beef is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? He gonna put that pressure on you. He gonna put that pressure on, and he's gonna make Canelo fight off of his back foot and have to go into all of his bag of tricks. Yep. And he's gonna have to be cautious throughout that whole fight with Bitter Beef.
Because you can't like Better Beef gets mad, right? Like his heart show out. Like if you beat Better Beef up a little bit too much, then he becomes a different fighter. Like you gotta not press him. You gotta like just win your rounds and like get out of dodge with that.
Hold on. Dundada, see you say dumb ass shit in the chat all the time. That's why motherfuckers stay on your helmet, Dundada. This motherfucker will say anything to even think he defending Canelo Alvarez. He says that Bitter Beef has a trash resume. So Bo's dick is trash. Marcus Brownie is trash.
I mean, there's one unified champ at 175.
You say dumb ass shit all the time, Dundada. That was some stupid shit you just said, bro.
You say anything to defend.
Nah,
that they know what they see in Bitter Beef. They ain't calling his phone. They not calling his phone, bro. They not calling.
I didn't even see
He's
you
not
got
getting
that
the calls.
knockout.
Dude, it's like certain fighters didn't get calls back in the day. It's just no different than when Vernon Forrest finally got his shot against Shane Mosley. Oscar wasn't giving him no shot. Tito wasn't giving him no shot. They wasn't calling for that dude. They wasn't calling for that dude. There's certain dudes they don't call on, and he ain't gonna be one of them. And they hoping he get old.
And I'm telling y'all, Bivol. See, they look at Bivol and they know exactly what he got, what he does. Right? It's basic. You know what I'm saying? He does. What he does is basic, but he does it good. Right? But they look at it and they like, well, he ain't dangerous. The man got 10 knockouts. 10. They like, okay, he's not dangerous, and you got to be dangerous to present a real threat. You either got to be very dangerous, like Bitter Beef is, to present a real threat to Canelo Alvarez, or you got to be able to box your ass off and move. You got to be able to, you know what I'm saying, be like a Demetrius Andrade or a Lara or somebody that can box. You know what I'm saying, like that. Be a masterclass boxer. Other than that, Bivol, they like he can't knock nobody out. He doesn't present any danger to him, right? He ain't gonna outbox Canelo. That shit that he do, I'm trying to tell y'all. Knockout boxing. I'm gonna let you cook. I know you just got in here.
Man, salute to everybody. This look like a damn all-star team up this month.
Yeah.
Smoke, what up, bro? I ain't seen you in a minute, homie.
What's up, Knockout? Yeah, man, I took a little break, but I'm back in action a little bit, at least sporadically.
It's good to see you, bro. Well, I mean, I agree with you a lot, Key. Like Bivol, he ain't had a stoppage in 6 fights, 4 years to be exact. And if you look at his fight against Salamov, you look at his fight against what's the guy's name, Craig Richards, he wasn't that impressive, bro. And Beterbiev, like you can say what you want about, oh man, he's slow, he this, he that. That man is an Olympian. He puts that pressure on you that's very, very constant and very educated to where you have to sit down and fight with him. And at the end of the day, when you got a fighter that seemed like when he hit you, he got a baseball bat in his gloves or some shit, that shit hard to prepare for. And the thing that will make such a great fight between Beterbiev and Canelo, in my opinion, is Beterbiev ain't gonna get on this bike, bro. He's not taking a step back. He's not gonna run around that hole trying to outbox and do all that moving and shit, which in my opinion, like I used to be of the mindset, because a lot of people be like, oh man, Canelo, you get somebody that can move with him. He has troubles with those types of fighters. See, I disagree. Like I'm of the mindset, like he used to that shit now. If you get in the ring with Canelo and all you doing is trying to move around the ring and box, he comfortable, bro. He hunting. He aligned on the hunt. He in his comfort zone with that shit. The people that I think, and I ain't even saying they can beat him, I'm saying that there will be the best fights and will give him trouble. It's the people that ain't gonna back down from that shit. It's that people that's gonna be like, yo, no, I'm here. I'm gonna try to push you back. So the guys like Beterbiev, the guys like Benavidez, Zerto Ramirez don't have the defense, I think, but somebody like him that's big, that's strong, that's gonna come forward and fight right with you. You know what I'm saying? Those are the types of fights that I want to see Canelo Alvarez in. So I didn't catch everything that y'all were saying, but just on the Bivol piece, like I ain't saying he can't fight, bro. I'm just saying like 0 stoppages in your last 6 fights. That's why you're getting picked, homie. You know what I'm saying? Zero stoppages in 4 years. That's why you're getting picked. Looking pedestrian against Craig Richards and Salamov in your last couple of fights. That's why you're getting picked, bro. That's why you're getting picked. Because the thing about Canelo, why he has so much responsibility, bro, is you can fight literally anybody you want to. So when you choose somebody, we have to look at why, because it ain't a fighter, it ain't a promoter. I don't give a damn if it's Top Rank and Bob Arum. I don't give a damn if it's Eddie Hearn and DAZN. I don't care if it's Al Heyman and the PBC. I don't give a damn if it's Triller. I don't care if it's Lou DiBella. I don't care if it's Richard Schaefer and Pro Bellum. If Canelo Alvarez call your phone for your fighter, bro, you answering that hoe. I don't give a damn if you got a fight or not. You dropping what you doing. Right. And you answering that hoe, and you gonna try to make a fight with Canelo Alvarez. That's the type of weight that he hold, bro. So when he picks somebody like Bivol, and you see Benavidez out there, or you see Jamal Charlo possibly out there, or you see Beterbiev out there, and you pick Bivol and Triple G, fans gonna be like, yo, what's up with that? Why you doing that shit, bro? What is it about them? Like, cause see what people don't talk about And what my brother Dundada, salute to you. You the family troll. But what they won't tell you is that Canelo Alvarez said he'll never fight Triple G, bro. He said, I'm never fighting him again. I'm not going to fight him again. I'm done with that. But his ass is fighting him right now. We don't want to talk about that shit, though. I guess that's different. That's a different scenario. So
and it's supposed to be at 168 too. Have we seen Triple G at 168? He looked straight horrible, like an old man at 160 in his last fight. Like, what does 168 look like?
Making that
Didn't
man put
Triple
on
G say?
extra 8 pounds? Nah.
Didn't
But that's
Triple
all
G
I
say
got.
he wasn't
Like,
fighting at 168? Didn't he say that was too much for him? That was too big
yeah,
for him?
when it was
That action.
when it was Andre Ward, he was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm straight. I don't want that issue." But that's all I got, Key. Like, I agree a lot with what you said. It's a good fight, bro. But I'd much. It's other fights I'd rather see over Triple G. I wouldn't even be mad if he signed a 1-fight deal just to fight Bivol, because I ain't gonna shit on Bivol. He a champion. That's a good fight, bro. I'm not shitting on that. It's the Triple G and then the third fight with John Ryder and Laguna Beach Macadamia Nut. That's what's doing it for me. Choosing between like that. That's the one that got me like, damn, bro. Like, what you out here doing, bro? But that's all I got, man. I'll pass.
They trying to build it to make it look like that. Oh, Triple G, he's one of the only ones that has a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez. What a man that is moving up to a weight that he ain't never fought at, moving up 8 pounds after he already got the shit beat out of him by Canelo his last fight 4 years ago. Now he's 39. He'll be damn near 40 years. He'll be 40 by the time they fight. He'll be 40 years old. And you trying to sell this shit to me? You trying to tell me this is the man that has a chance to beat Canelo? Come on, man. Like, this shit is ridiculous.
Yeah, bro. The thing, like Canelo, like, or the thing with Triple G, like, we seen that story, like, and fighters, they're really good. Like Canelo too, like his counterpunching and his timing and shit. Man, he gonna get in there a third time. He gonna have Triple G timing down. He gonna know all the Triple G moves and shit. And he really like was putting it on Triple G in that second fight, bro. Like, this third fight gonna be a continuation of that second fight. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Triple G get stopped for the first time in his career. And people gonna, a certain segment will big up it like it's the greatest thing ever. But I just, when we fighting 40-year-old fighters and shit, bro, like, if somebody 40 years old, you're supposed to handle business on their ass, bro. So it is what it is, bro.
Hey, but like I said, I went over his whole resume at 168. He beat everybody that he should have, what he was supposed to beat. Nothing special about that. It ain't nothing special to me about him motherfucking fighting Bivol. Nothing special about that fight to me at all. Now, am I gonna give him respect because Bivol is a legit champion? Okay, cool. I'm gonna give you respect. But it ain't nothing special about it. Kano Loco in the building. What's happening?
Kano.
Kano.
Hey, can I ask everybody on the panel a question?
What's that?
Has anybody on this panel been involved in any type of sport that, individual sport where you had to practice real hard?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So when you go compete against somebody, don't you want to compete against the best?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
That's all I wanted to know.
How else are you gonna find out how good you really are?
That's all I wanted to know.
So in his lifetime, he went up against the best and lost. And he also went up against the best and he had draws, right? Before we knew who he was, he had a draw. But I'm saying we saw him draw at one of the best guy at 160, right? He came up with a draw there. To me, neither one of those guys separated themselves from each other, right? So I mean, you got to give somebody a victory, sure, give somebody a victory, but both of those fights could have been draws, right? In my opinion. But he definitely got one of those things, right? So I mean, best of 168. 168 was thin. And that's cool. He still was the first guy to be undisputed, history books and all that stuff. Clap it up for him. I thought he was special back before Floyd fought him, right? Really. So, it's not that he's not special, but we've seen some limitations. So, is Canelo the best? I think he'll still beat Bivol. I mean, still beat Better Beef. I would still pick him to beat Better Beef, I would just prefer that fight.
All right, but this is why I asked that question. All right, when he moved up to 60, he wasn't never supposed to fight. What's my man name? Mark. What's his name? Floyd
Who you talking
42.
about?
That's 60. The first person he fought at 60, but it was a catch weight.
You talking about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.?
Nah,
He talking about Cotto, y'all. He talking about Cotto.
All right.
No. Okay, yeah.
Hold on.
He was
Oh,
never
Cotto.
supposed to fight Cotto. He was supposed to fight Triple G. When he moved up to 68 to fight Rocky Fielding, he was supposed to fight David Benavidez then. When he
I
moved
think
up
that's
to
good against Cotto
75,
too.
when he moved up to 75, he was supposed to fight Better Be. He was supposed to fight
Viterbi,
Better Be then. When you move up to
I'm
these
gonna say
weight
this.
classes, you gotta
I'm gonna
fight
say
the
this real
best.
quick. Let me say this real quick. Now when he came from 160 or whatever, and when he first moved to 175 to fight Kovalev, right? I didn't have no problem with that fight. I thought that was a solid fight, but I had a problem with Kovalev only getting like 4 or 5 weeks to train for that fight, right? That was my only problem with that fight. Other than that, I thought it was a solid fight. But hey, I was like, hey, you can't really blame Canelo for that because the motherfucker wanted a payday and he shouldn't have took the fight on short notice. But when we saw the fight, if you watch that fight, you'll notice that I'm just gonna keep it 100. It looked like that Kovalev. I mean, come on. We
I
saw that
understand
fight.
that though, Keith. But at
Hold
the
on.
time, who was the best? Who was
Nah,
the best
hell, nah. I
175
break down
pounder?
film. I gotta show what fighters do good.
Hold on. Because I'm watching that fight, and I told this story before. I'm watching that fight with my partner. He the biggest motherfucking Canelo Alvarez fan next to Money Brown TV. You know what I'm saying? He buy Canelo Alvarez's fucking merchandise and all that shit. Huge Canelo Alvarez fan, right? And so we watching because I had a little fight party. We watching the fight, and he look at me, and he like, man, something ain't right about this. He said, you know I fuck with Canelo heavy. He said, but I don't know, man. I ain't never seen Kovalev look like this. He said it looked like Kovalev is pulling his punches. I said, really? Yeah. You ain't nobody never seen Kovalev fight like he did in a Canelo Alvarez fight. And then when you hear Kovalev leading after the fight, right? After the fight, well, even before the fight, Kathy Duva said, oh, we have big things lined up for Kovalev, right? In the contract, even if he loses. Now, who does that? Older fighter like Canelo, but like Kovalev, you promising him big things in his contract, even if he loses? That shit
Sounds like an incentive to lose to me.
Right.
Yeah, they were lying to his ass because he ain't done shit since then.
Well, I mean, he popped dirty. He was supposed to fight Bully the Back and pop dirty, right?
Yeah. But so, and then after that, the man comes and he says, he laughs and he says, "You guys are idiots." He said, "You're an idiot if you thought if you thought I was gonna beat Canelo Alvarez. You an idiot if you thought I was gonna win that fight." And another thing is they paid him $7 million, right? Now, if y'all didn't know, his highest payday before that was in the Andre Ward second fight. And you know how much he got paid? $700,000. Now, if y'all remember, Andre Ward and his trainer, they put that shit out in the public and they was talking about
they was mad.
They was talking about how bad Kathy Duva was doing Kovalev because they was taking all his money and they was fucking him. So he had never got paid like that in his whole career. Never. So to get $7 million and then what he said afterwards, and then the incentive that they told you that they put in his contract, even if he was going to lose the fight, that lets me know what he said. He was telling y'all, I took this fight for money. I ain't coming here to win this fight. I wasn't going to win. And I didn't try to win. Y'all saw how he fought. He was pulling back. Now, am I blaming that on Canelo? Am I saying, oh, Canelo knew it? Nah, Canelo went in there and he knew that he had a job to do. Canelo didn't have no parts in what Kovalev had going on. He didn't have no parts in that. So he went in there and he did what he had to do. But Kovalev, if you watch how he fought that fight, you ain't never seen him fight like that before. He did not throw no hard shots. Everything was a 1-2 with half fucking power behind it. And he was actually winning rounds in that fight. You know what I'm saying? He was controlling the distance a lot of the time with Canelo Alvarez. But he was just doing enough to keep Canelo off of him. And that ain't how the motherfucking what they call Kovalev, what's his nickname?
The Crusher.
The
That's
Crusher.
not the Crusher.
The Crusher.
That ain't no Crusher shit. That ain't how the Crusher fights. We ain't never seen him fight like that. Never. It don't matter who he was in the ring with. The Crusher is coming at you. And so, you know, it ain't no cut for Canelo because the Crusher, Sergey Kovalev, he fought much more dangerous fighters than Canelo.
Yeah, the Crusher was not in the building that night. Not at all.
Nope.
He beat Sergey Kovalev. He did not beat the Crusher.
Yeah, it looked like a whole different guy to me. That's what I seen, man. I thought I was watching WWE. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying, like, if we one thing, if we saw him throw the right hand, the way we've seen him throw the right hand in every kind of fight, and Canelo neutralized it or did something with it, right? If he did something with it,
up in the pocket in that fight.
No, I'm just saying, like I've seen that guy land that right hand in any kind of way, in all kinds of ways. What Andre Ward was doing to that dude, but like the way that he was, the variation that that Crusher came with, how he delivered that, how he set up the shot, everything. It was there for him all night. He was jabbing, he was touching him, and when you think that he would throw a right hand, it wasn't coming. It just wasn't there. It wasn't there all night. So it'd be one, like if we saw him fight the way we're used to seeing him fighting, like Keon was just pointing out, it'd be a different kind of thing. It'd be like, okay, now Canelo's overcome the Crusher. But what we saw was him overcoming some version of a guy we've never seen before.
I feel what y'all saying. I would just say, like, all of that shit could be true, but what it could also be, the man got his ass knocked out cold by Yildirim Alvarez.
It wasn't knocked out cold. That was a TKO.
And then he also got, he got stopped, basically is what I'm saying. Then he almost got stopped by Anthony Yard. So he's coming off of fights where he took a whole lot of punishment on top of having a short training camp. So,
right. So I hear you knock out, but still in both of those fights, we saw like ghosts of it. You know, he was still throwing that right hand with intention to how to win. Like that's the way that this dude has been winning fights. What I mean, okay, so let's say he got a new trainer, right? Ronnie Shields is trying to do, and Ronnie Shields is trying to turn him into a boxer, and he's now going to outpoint people. All right, cool, and I'm not mad at that. Like even as an explanation, I'm just saying it's a different fighter. That's not the Crusher. If now you're going to go back to like Olympic style, and you're like however many fight after being champion for all this damn time, now you're going to start trying to like just outpointing guys and just touching them up and moving around like you're Jose Pedraza. Okay. I mean, I get you. I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying that's not the guy that we've come to understand. And Canelo didn't beat the guy that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I feel that. I think he just wasn't the same fighter because of all the wars he been in. And then plus, Canelo Alvarez, like maybe he just wasn't as confident in himself because shit, he got Canelo in front of him and not Anthony Yard or Alvarez. Like, I ain't saying they can't fight, but they ain't no Canelo.
Yeah, bro, but I just
I think it was an old Kovalev.
The whole fight.
Yeah, I mean, old Kovalev don't mean same style. That's a completely different style. Like you're saying,
it didn't look right. It didn't look right,
Canelo Alvarez was so intimidating that now he's going to pity pat punches. Like I mean, you're putting a whole lot on Kovalev being a bitch and being old.
And that's coming from a point in time where I heard this fighter, a legendary fighter, Shane Mosley, said. He compared the punching power of Canelo Alvarez and Floyd Mayweather. He said they pretty much punched the same. Shane Mosley said that years ago. And all of a sudden now, my man running around here like Hercules knocking out 175 pounders.
I mean, hey, listen. I mean, if you're in that's a different thing.
I just believe
dude looks like he's used to the gills, but that's a different thing, right?
bro, he can fight. He got skills. You can have a lot of skills and add a lot of skills when you taking shit that's allowing you to perform at higher levels than everybody else.
I'm not. I ain't finna go there.
Yeah,
I mean, I ain't got it. I
ain't
mean,
gonna
I ain't
say
got. We
nothing
ain't even
funny.
got it. We ain't even got to go into that. We just leave that alone.
Yeah,
But
I
the
ain't
dude,
Shane Mosley,
The
Shane
dude
Mosley
looks
also
like he
fought.
looks like
He
a
also
hot
fought
dog has been in the
Canelo
microwave.
Alvarez.
Like
He
I
also
don't know.
fought Canelo. Oh, my bad, Smoke. Go ahead, Smoke. My bad.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say, like, to me, that guy's body does not look natural. I don't know another human being that looks like that. The dude looks like a hot dog's been in the microwave. He's like busting out of his fucking skin. I don't get it, but whatever the fuck,
Nigga
that's what he's
said a
got
hot
going
dog
on.
didn't.
He already popped dirty. All I'm in it for is the fights, and he's giving me like good fight. Like I'm enjoying the moments that I've seen in the ring, but at the same time, he don't look like a guy that looks like a regular dude. Like he looks like a guy that has some kind of whatever. I don't know how he
he
gets that
got
physique,
something going
but
on. Let's let him
it don't
ride.
look like anybody else's physique on earth.
I ain't finna go there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna go there personally, but like I said, as far as that Kovalev shit, man, Kovalev pretty much told everybody, I wasn't going
I
in there to
believe what
win.
Kovalev said.
I see what y'all
He
saying,
told.
bro.
I've
What I
never
was gonna
heard.
say on the Shane Mosley shit, real quick, like Shane also.
Hold on, real quick, knockout.
My
Hold
bad,
on,
bro.
real quick. If anybody on this panel, have you ever heard another fighter, especially on that caliber, that's been a world champion several times, say, if y'all thought I was gonna win that fight, you were fucking stupid? I never heard no fighter say nothing even close to that.
I can't
If
say I
y'all,
had.
Yeah, but Kovalev is the king of saying dumb shit after fights he lost, right?
he ain't never said nothing like. No, he's the king of making excuses and complaining
Yeah, he makes
about
better.
losing fights. Now, in that fight, that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. In that fight with Canelo, he was smiling and he was happy that he lost. But he wasn't. He was happy because he knew he was gonna sign that goddamn paycheck when he got back to the locker room. They were gonna have that $7 million paycheck. He was happy. Look how he acted in all his other losses, in all the excuses that he made. He made every excuse in the world with the Andre Ward loss. Every excuse in the world with the Alvarez loss. He was smiling and he was happy to lose against Canelo.
Yeah, but it's
Hugging
still the
him and
same. But it's still the
smiling.
same dumb stuff. He just feel better about it. Like he been spending that money since before, like training camp. As soon as they signed that contract, he started spending.
So hey, I never heard a fighter say no shit like that. Oh, if you thought I was gonna win that fight, you just stupid.
Yeah, that's some questionable shit. I was just gonna say real quick on the homie KP comment about Shane Mosley talking about Canelo power. Shane Mosley fought him at 154, bro. Like he at 168 now, so that's 14 pounds. Maybe he got some power that he bought up on the scales with him. Maybe he's more powerful. Maybe he was weight drained at 154 pounds. I don't know.
yeah, maybe, cuz. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, but what was that Kirkland fight at though?
Kirkland
was
154,
at 55. It was at 55, Canelo weight.
Yeah, it was at a
Remember
catch
he was fighting at 55 then, y'all. He was dancing around Charlo.
I don't know. It seemed like he had power for that one.
Hey, he been doing this. He been dancing around guys for so long, man. Shit, he might as well been on Dancing with the Stars.
Listen, I ain't the one to take up for Canelo, but I mean, shit. He tested positive one time. I know they changing levels for him and shit. I just want to see him fight who I want to see him fight. That's really my main thing with him. Like, fight the fights I want to see you fight. It's the same standard I hold all these fighters to. He ain't giving me that right now. So
Same for me, bro.
Yeah.
Fight
Canelo,
the fights I want to see you fight.
Canelo, whether or not he's on something, that's a settled beef. Like he already popped dirty. Like
Hey,
he would
come
say
on,
whatever the hell he
hit
want
this
about
stage,
him,
man.
about how he like you can throw whatever controversy on top of it you want to throw on top of it. All I'm saying is like that dude don't look natural. I'm not like I said, like as a boxing fan, I just appreciate skill. And the skills that dude has, they may be enhanced by something, maybe not. But I see what I see in him is ability, like straight a master of his craft. Like you want to talk about like Bivol being a master of his craft, whatever. To me, Canelo has mastered things about boxing that makes watching him exciting, regardless of who he fights. So I'm cool
Yes,
with it. Like
master.
I ride
Yep.
with him. I ride with him on based on that. But there's a
He
separate
got good
category.
skills.
Who would I like to see him fight?
Yeah, you know, man, like I said, when we went down the resume at 168, wasn't shit special about that. When we go to 175, he has a chance to do. I think that he has a chance to do something special at 175 right out the gate, and that were to fight Bitterbeef. I don't think nobody could have complained about him fighting Bitterbeef, a dangerous motherfucker like that, but he choosing to go fight Bivol, then he choosing to fight Triple G, then he choosing to fight John Ryder or fucking Makabu Babu, right? And then you know what he gonna do after that? After all of that, then he might fight Bitterbeef. But by that time, Bitterbeef is gonna be close to 40 years old. He's trying to age him out. We know what he's gonna. We know what he's trying to do. He's trying to age him out. They do everything real. They move very carefully,
Real
right?
strategic.
And they map out everything that they do. They map out everything they do very, very carefully. And I see it. I see exactly what they're doing. You know,
I know what he ain't gonna do. He ain't gonna walk at Bitterbeef. He gonna get on his bike like he tried to do in that first Golovkin fight.
He's not gonna fight him, bro. He's not gonna fight him into maybe the end of 2023 when he's old. When you know what I'm saying?
He's already old. That's the whole point.
And they gonna make sure he ain't fought in a year and a half.
Right.
I'm saying like Bitterbeef at this point would have been a really respectful pick for Canelo, right? Like the most respect you're gonna get is if you picked him now, right? You might have got more respect if you picked him instead of Kovalev. But instead, you picked another old dude on his way out. But we've already seen him get old in the ring. Now Canelo is, like we were saying, what you said, what makes him great is he's been really active. You know what that means? You fighting sharp. Nobody is as sharp as Canelo right now. Nobody. Charlo would have experienced ring rust. We saw Charlo's ring rust in the last fight he had, and he ain't fought since that fight, right? And that wasn't this year. Canelo is at the sharpest he's in fighting shape. None of these other dudes are. This would have been the time to pick Bitterbeef. If you're still gonna get a modicum of respect, if you're ever gonna fight Bitterbeef, now is gonna be the time. If you fight Bitterbeef next, it's still less respectful. If you fight him in a year, then what's the point? Really, you're just padding your shit.
Yeah, man. But like I said, everybody say, "Oh, well, what are the rest of these guys doing? What are the rest of these guys doing?" You ain't. Well, we talk about the rest of these guys, but at the end of the day, Jamal Charlo, David Benavidez, and whoever else you want to talk about, the rest of these guys, Demetrius Andrade, ain't none of these dudes getting paid $50 million. That's what y'all got to understand. None of them. They don't have the choice to pick whoever they want to fight. Jamal Charlo can't say, "Oh, I want to fight him, him, and him," right? Demetrius Andrade he can't do that. Caleb Plant can't do that. Motherfucking David Benavidez can't do that. And ain't nan one of these other fighters making $40-50 million a fight. So with that being said, right, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Straight up and down. If you're getting paid that much, well, I want to see you fight the best. I don't want to see you hopscotch around, right, and fight the easiest opponents that's making you the best money. Well, why does Canelo have to? Because he's making $40-50 million every fucking fight. That's why. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Are we wrong for wanting to see him fight the best opponents when he's making that much money?
No, we not.
All I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
And then motherfuckers get to crying. Well, why doesn't Jamal Charlo? Well, Jamal Charlo ain't making that type of money. You know what I'm saying? Jamal Charlo, he'd be lucky if he get $5 million. He probably ain't even made $5 million in the fight. I don't know if he has or not. You know what I'm saying? David Benavidez ain't making $5 million in a fight. Demetrius Andrade ain't never made $5 million in the fight. They're not making that type of money.
Hey, man. I mean, and then
LeBron James. Wait, people demand more of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and all of them because they get paid more than fucking goddamn Patrick Beverly. You don't demand Patrick Beverly to go out there every night and do what you demand Kevin Durant and LeBron James to do. Of course, no, you don't, because Patrick Beverly ain't getting paid like them.
You got a point, man. Got a hell of a point.
Outside the box. You go ahead and cook, and then I'm going to get ready to wrap it up.
Appreciate y'all having me on today, man. Great show today, man. Salute to the whole panel. Like and subscribe to everybody's channels. Man, we just dropped some content, got some more content coming. So we got 2 more videos on Bivol Canelo, man. We gonna break it all the way down. So get there, like, subscribe, man. Salute to everybody on the panel. Thanks for having me, man. Great show as usual.
Yeah, did you have anything that you want to cook on before you got out with this?
Nah, y'all go ahead, man.
You good? You good? Shit, Batman. Let me get your last words then.
Man, you said it perfect, man. You know, Charlo, Demetrius Andrade, Benavidez, they cannot do what Canelo do. They can't pick the fights they want. If they could, I think they will go after the best. That's my belief. I don't know about Charlo. Hold up. Let me take him out of that. I think Benavidez and Andrade will go after the best fighters out there if they can do what Canelo Alvarez do. But, you know, Canelo in the driver's seat. I can't do nothing but talk about what's not right. I'm going to keep on screaming for what's not right, but he's going to keep getting what he wants. So who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that's all. Ain't nobody saying that he ain't a hell of a fighter.
Right.
But, you know,
can I cook on something right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I got a question for y'all, man, because I just found out that when Boo Boo pulled out of the Charlo fight back in the day, his pops was saying that it was people on the card, and Jamal Charlo was supposed to make more than Boo Boo. So that was the reason that they pulled out of the fight or whatever.
Jamel Charlo, right?
Yeah. I kind of knocked Boo Boo for that. But now that I find out that you was the champion and your mandatory was gonna make more than you, I probably would have pulled out that motherfucker too.
That's not the first time a mandatory champion has made less than his mandatory. Like that's not. I'm still knocking him for that. But listen. If you pull out, you pull out. Like, if the money wasn't right, then why'd you sign the contract?
They said he never signed the contract.
I mean, then why are we talking about making fights then? I mean, why they announcing fights and saying fights are made? Like sometimes the contract, I understand the boxing business because it's relationship based. Sometimes you may not even get the contract until the night of the fight because you know it's a handshake and you know who you're dealing with. But if your whole thing is because your money ain't right compared to the next guy's money, like okay, I don't care about that. Like at this point, you done pulled out of so many damn fights. Like the reasons why you do it. Okay, I still at this point, Demetrius Andrade has been a multi-divisional champion and has never fought another champion or even a former champion. So the reason why you pulled out the Jamal Charlo fight turns out to be a really bad beer. It turns out to be bad business because at least Jamal Charlo is a champion, right? Like nobody on your resume can say that.
But he's been after every champion since then. I mean,
been after him, but can't
then on that card you got Keith Thurman, who he beat 3 times in the amateurs, making more than him.
That's great. So you can talk all that stuff around your house. That don't mean a damn thing to me. What that mean to me? I signed up to watch a fight. I don't care that you feel like these people are beneath you. I don't give a damn if I even think that you're justified in you feeling like these people are beneath you. At this point, his legacy now reflects that this dude ain't fought no damn champions.
All right, now put yourself in his shoes, man. Nah, this is what I be wanting to do with you guys, man. The fans. Put yourself in these guys' shoes. If you not getting paid your worth, you're not going to go out there and do your job.
He shouldn't have
Yo, you
signed
know
a
how many?
contract in
Oh,
the
you
first
gone
place.
crazy. You gone
He never
crazy. You think
signed
that
the
people working?
contract.
You think? All right. So listen,
Right, he never
I like,
signed.
I'm not even gonna go into like what my whole family think, but even like with my background, I have worked at fucking Jack in the Box. Right? I don't feel like I was being paid my fucking wealth, but worth my work, paid my worth. As a matter
All
of
right,
fact, they tried to dock my pay for eating some tacos, and sure, I was out.
no,
Of
that's
course,
a
I was out
job.
after
No,
that.
no, no.
However,
Listen,
I don't feel like I was being paid my worth at no point in that endeavor. Right?
Listen to this, Smoke. That's a job. If you working at something, being the best at something, working every day from a child, and you get to this point, you're going to get everything you worth.
Okay, Batman. I am not saying that. Like first off, because these guys are risking their life, because of like we have stories like Gerald McClellan that you don't know if your next fight is going to be the last time you are able to like walk and talk. I understand that you're trying to maximize and leverage your potential in every single fight. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about now a different thing. Now what you're talking about is this dude has done that to the point that he's had the career that he has. Now as boxing fans, we now have to
Only
evaluate
done
his
it once.
legacy. We now as just as boxing fan, like not as the fighter, he's off doing his thing, and I appreciate him. I'm not knocking him for what he does, but as a boxing fan, I'm looking at him as a boxer. And when I look at what he's done, this dude, I've been, as many years as I've been following this guy,
I'm out, Smoke.
he still, yes, peace, man. He still hasn't fought a fucking champ.
Listen,
Still
that's
never.
not his.
Not
Listen,
ever.
he only
Not,
did.
not
He
a
pulled
former
out a
champ,
fight one
not a
time.
current champ, no champs whatsoever. Meanwhile, this dude's been a champ in several divisions.
Smoke. He pulled out one fight, but he stepped to Triple G. Triple G told him no. He stepped to Charlo. Charlo told him no. He stepped to Canelo Alvarez. Canelo had one belt to get to be undisputed, and Canelo told him no.
Batman, you sure he stepped out? He only pulled out one fight. You sure about that one?
Whatever fight he pulled.
I mean,
out
I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but I have the feeling that he pulled out of like 2 or 3 fights.
Whatever championship fight.
I mean, I'm not saying that the Billy Joe Saunders was him pulling out. That was Billy Joe Saunders' fault. I'm taking that one off the side. I'm saying him. For whatever reason that he felt like he wasn't, like it wasn't right.
I'm asking you what fights Boo Boo Andre put out of.
Yeah, listen. Like I said, I feel like I don't have the names, but I feel like he's pulled out of more than one. The Charlo fight is the one we're talking about, and I can take a look at it, but I feel like that dude's pulled out of more than one, and I'm not talking about Billy Joe Saunders.
He only pulled out one fight that I know about.
I think didn't he pull out of both Charlo fights? Like two Charlos, not just one.
No, the other Charlo don't even want to fight him.
No, I'm saying at 154, not at 160, not the 160.
No,
wasn't offered center, wasn't not offered center. I mean at 154.
He pulled out of the one and then came to the other one press conference trying to fight him. And
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
And
since I don't have names, I'm gonna let it go.
Well, somebody said that somebody I was reading earlier in the chat, think it was Zenith, or somebody said, or Bole said that Steven Espinoza said that they offered him a contract to fight. I think it was Jamal in 2019. He got anyway. Zenith 360 said that Steven Espinoza said in 2019 they offered him an opportunity to fight Jamal and he turned it down.
And also he had some like business issues, right? Like I'm not even saying that he's like afraid of these dudes or whatever. I'm saying that whatever the hell is going on with his business has now hurt his legacy.
Man, hey man, I know a lot of fighters scared of him. That's all I know.
Hey, I'm not. It depends on what you mean by scared, right? There's a thing about like if you have other options, right? But also, well, I get that scared of losing.
They scared of the man. They scared of losing. They scared how his style will match with their style, and they might lose.
Or they might not look good, or there's better fights for them that with the same amount of risk but more money.
No, because Canelo Alvarez is gonna get paid what he's gonna get paid regardless.
Right, but what's the risk of Canelo? Is the risk of losing is the risk greater losing to Boo Boo Andre than it is to losing to Kovalev.
It hurts his legacy. What you mean, Kovalev? Kovalev was an old, worn-out fighter.
Yeah, but he's on the bubble of being in the Hall of Fame, and it was a weight that Canelo never fought at.
He's an old, worn-out fighter.
I mean, I understand that, but and also Andrade, but Andrade is also,
you can't. But nobody can say, all right, I can say that Kovalev is an old fighter, but if we put Boo Boo there, I cannot say that.
I understand that, but my point that I'm trying to make is Boo Boo Andrade more of a threat than Kovalev? I mean, we saw the Kovalev fight. We saw the Kovalev fight, but that's not the Kovalev that we're used to seeing fighting. Like we understood that he was vulnerable at that point, right? But we also understand that Boo Boo can't fucking break wind. Like his punches have no power on them, and not only that, he don't sit down on nothing. Right, so like the idea that just he's now all of a sudden the second coming of Lars.
When Mayweather moved up, Mayweather couldn't break win, but he can win.
I understand, but Mayweather ain't Boo Boo.
He has enough pop. He has enough pop to keep you at bay. Same as Boo Boo Andrade. That's why none of these guys won't fight him.
Okay,
that's why.
If you say that,
that's why Samson won $7 million or over $10 million just to fight Boo Boo Andrade. For David Benavidez.
I mean, if you said, listen, I feel like what you're saying has some merit, right? Like the guys don't seem to be lining up to fight Boo Boo Andrade. But I also understand that nobody's actually lining up to fight anybody on the zone, not Canelo, because it's an app, right? This dude, like, let me be all the way funky with this. Let me be all the way funky. This dude disappeared from the scene. First off, when he was on the scene, there was a whole bunch of controversy about like him pulling out of fights and not holding up to his end of the business deal for whatever reason that he didn't hold up to his end of the business deal.
That was only one time.
And then no, it wasn't one time. It was more than one time. Okay. Anyway, I'm not even going there. But my point is, he then had problems with his management, so he was out of the ring for however long he was out of the ring. Then he came back to the ring and started fighting on an app that nobody was watching nothing on. So, like, part of the reason is really his own business decisions. Does that have anything to do with his skills?
On that app, you had two of the champions on that app at 160. That was Canelo Alvarez and fucking Triple G on the same side of the street.
Bro, okay, you have to understand that. Hold up.
Nothing.
But Batman, you got the timeline mixed up. You got the timeline messed up.
Billy Joe Saunders ducked this man, went up to 168 and got the same belt he got, but his belt means something.
Okay, so you got the timeline all messed up. Andrade was on the DAZN before any of those people got there.
I get that.
Andrade been on the DAZN. Like I said, Andrade was one of the guys who was supposed to make the zone palatable to Americans. When he went on there, nobody was on the zone.
Because Golden Boy.
Hold on a second. I'm just saying, Golden Boy. Let me just finish. Golden Boy came on later on, like a year later. I'm saying this entire time, but Andrade has been languishing in obscurity. People didn't know if his name was Andrade. Like, nope. There was like 4 different pronunciations of his name. He was not on anybody's radar, right? So
that's cool.
Now I'm saying that now that the zone is established, they have some fights. They have Golden Boy came on and all that stuff. But in the meantime, the Charlos have done pay-per-views. They've unified championships. They've done all this other stuff while this dude is still talking about what happened at 154. At a certain point, you got to understand that Andrade has made. Okay,
one of them only unified, dog.
I understand. I understand. But the other guy went up there and so one guy unified. Neither one of them has fought guys like at 160. Both of them resume are thin as hell. I feel like at this point, both of these guys and boxing fans need for this fight, this unification to happen, right? I think we can all agree on that particular thing. When we talk about who ducked and how we ducked and all this stuff, all I'm saying to you is that the maze that Andrade can't get through is a maze of partly his own design.
I understand that. He went over to the zone where it was no 160 pounders. I mean, wasn't nobody over there the zone had. But when they came over, he was there. He had the one belt. When Canelo first went to 160, he had the belt when Canelo said he wanted to be undisputed. But that belt ain't look sexy no more when Boo Andre got it.
It never was sexy. The WBO 160 belt ain't never been sexy.
So
not one day in his life is it the one WBO 160 belt been sexy.
Right, so why did he go up to fight Billy Joe Saunders then? Just for that
why did who go up?
Canelo Alvarez.
Because Canelo Alvarez is padding his legacy.
Okay then.
We know that. But but that's cool. Yeah, we understand that.
Okay then. So he could have been had that legacy a year ago.
Yeah, hey, listen, I agree with you. Like, I feel like what Undisputed 160 is a lot more meaningful historically than 168. Not only that, I also think he would have fought better competition at 160 with the Daniel Jacobs victories, with the Triple G fights, with the Cotto victory, with the all those.
He fought much better competition at 160.
Yeah, if he would have been undisputed there, that would have been way better than 168. In my opinion, and all he had to do was fight Demetrius.
Because one person that he says is a shit fighter had the belt. If I say somebody is a shit fighter, that means I can beat him.
Listen, we also got the inaugural franchise champion at 160. But he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight Charlo. He didn't want to fight Andrade.
Get in this with me. If you say somebody some shit and anything, you trying to see him, right? Because you know that that's an easy win for you, right?
Yeah, that's an easy win. You got to go get that smoke. If you feel that way, that is an easy win. But like I said, you can't say that he is the shit fighter and then you fighting Liam Smiths and Abner Yildrims and you know what I'm saying? So we know what that shit was about, bro. He didn't want to fight him. We know why. That was a dangerous fight for him. Even though now, if we talking about right now, I think Canelo will beat Andrade. Andrade and I know you disagree, Batman, but Andrade is right now. I thought that back at 154, especially, I thought Andrade would have beat Canelo. But right now, I got Canelo beating Andrade, but he don't want to fight him.
And if I can just throw one more thing on it, like it did look like at least they made a plausible deniability case in the court of public opinion that it was Golden Boy, not Canelo, that was ducking that Andre thing. But for whatever reason, yeah, right. I'm just saying, whatever your conclusion you draw from it, I'm just saying Canelo separated himself from that situation and made it look like that he has plausible deniability that he ain't just ducking no damn Andre.
Right. Yeah.
Hold on.
Hold on. He had a chance to prove that wrong, and he went the other route.
Hey, Key, hold on. When he was at that press conference, who he was sitting by? He wasn't sitting by De La Hoya. He was sitting by Eddie Hearn. So he broke Eddie. Oh, you's a shit fighter. Oh, you saw you won his payday. Come on, man. Stop this shit, man. That man is scared of that man. Eddie Reynoso just came out, a week ago, saying athletic, black, slick fighters are dangerous.
Yeah,
I hear you. I'm sorry. I saw the Liam Williams fight. Like, I'm with Keon. Like 154, there's a version of Andre a while ago that I would have thought. And I'm not saying that Canelo's not afraid of him, right? I'm not saying that what you're saying isn't true. What you see could be totally what's happening, and Canelo understands that. That's why he's avoiding the fight. I'm just saying that if I'm on the Canelo, if I'm in the Canelo, I'm trying to get $30 million a fight, no matter who the hell I fight. So I have to and I'm trying to be like the best Mexican fighter ever. Andre don't come nowhere near any of that shit. All that comes down to is shutting up boxing fans. Let me finish. It comes down to
you built him up to be the boogeyman.
Yeah, I got it. But if you look at championship fights, right? Like what Canelo Alvarez has been doing since 154, he's been in championship fight after championship fight after championship fight after championship fight. It's not that Andre is not a championship fight. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that.
Can I say this?
I got it. But if you moved out of 160, then what is the point?
All right, can I say this? Bivol was not being talked about until Canelo Alvarez name got beside his. If Canelo Alvarez name was not beside Bivol, his name will not be ringing right now at all by itself.
Well,
It's really the 175. It's really went up. It's because he went up.
Hold on. See, the thing was with Bivol, people was wanting Bivol to fight Zordo Ramirez. And remember, Zordo was saying that Bivol been ducking the smoke from him. That's the fight that people wanted to see, Bivol versus Zordo Ramirez. Because Zordo has been saying that, hey, I'm coming after Bivol. He ducking me.
But listen though, Keith, I'm talking about on this hype. All right, that was the case. But I'm talking about on this super hype shit now that everybody is screaming Bivol. His name was not ringing like this.
No, it wasn't. But but that's what happens when you're like that close to the guy that all eyes are boxing on. But I'm
that's what's
going
to happen.
Yeah, that's listen, Batman.
That's
but just real quick,
when
just real quick,
Andre, if he ever signed a contract with Bivol Andre, that fight will go to that type of hype.
It would. But the other thing about Bivol was that he went up to 175 to fight Kovalev. And so when they fought Kovalev, everybody was like talking about how old the Kovalev was and how washed he was and the turnaround and all this stuff. So Bivol, whatever you want to say about Bivol, what you can't say about Bivol is that he's old and washed.
Yeah, but they was talking about Better Beef.
Listen, we still talking about Better Beef. He still only fought the guy that we're not talking about him really fighting if he's at 175.
That's what I'm saying.
I gotta wrap this up because I gotta wrap it up.
I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, Canelo is the attraction. He's gonna bring the money, so it don't matter who he fight. He fought Adriano. Where they fight at? In San Diego, right? I mean, they fought in Texas. They fought in what's that? The Spurs. Wherever the fuck the Spurs from?
San Antonio.
The Riverwalk.
Huh?
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
And they packed that motherfucker out. Come on, man. He's the attraction. Stop this shit, man.
Yeah. Let me get your last words, Smoke.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. Canelo is a for this generation, he is a premier talent, A1 level fighter. The champs at 168 weren't anything. The guys that they hadn't proven anything. He did what he went out there and supposed to do. None of them were upsets. They were barely even competitive. Canelo's. I want to see him fight different guys, but I appreciate as a boxing fan being alive, a human being. I'm gonna watch his fights. I'm gonna watch the Bivol fight, thinking that Canelo's gonna beat the hell out of Bivol.
Yes, sir. You
check me out at Boxing Lounge.
You want to know? Let them know where to find you at and when you be on.
It's catch as catch can. I did my very first live like yesterday. I'm not really. I plan on being a little bit more consistent with dropping lives and dropping content. But for the stuff that we do have, you can check us out at the Boxing Lounge.
The Boxing Lounge. Everybody go sub to the Boxing Lounge. I appreciate everybody for coming through. What you say, Batman?
I said I ain't got nothing to say, Keith, man. Great show, man.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for coming through. If y'all ain't hit the like button, smash on that like button. Hit the like button. Sub to the channel if you ain't a sub to the channel. But like I said, another great show. We got all different perspectives. And all we want to see is we all believe that Canelo Alvarez is an A-level fighter. We want to see him fight other fighters that's on his level to get the best fighting the best. That's it, and that's all. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And we will be back tomorrow, same time, different topic, and y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone, y'all.